is officially playing in his first WCS, as he was eligible to play yesterday. Was it his birthday yesterday, I think I read? I think it is yesterday was his birthday. He's just turned 16 years old, so he is one of the kids to watch out for. Let's see what sort of a run he can make here in this WCS EU qualifier. We start the series on Abiogenesis. As to the top left-hand side, the red Zerg player is Guru. And to the bottom right-hand side, our blue Terran player from XED Sports is Clem. As Guru with some fighting words here early. He is not friend with Clem. He's Zerg. Alright, well, a little bit of fun between the players. Now, Clem, I have to say, did really come out when I was casting him the other day in some of the WardiTV Team League matches. He came out with a lot of strategies that remind me of a lot of strategies that I saw Maru using in the WSG Grand Finals, or in that event. Not necessarily the actual Grand Finals against Dark, but throughout that Global Finals event in China. He was using kind of some crazy strats like 2-1-1s and 3-Rax Reaper that we just don't see much anymore. And his 3-Rax Reaper on Abiogenesis I felt was very interesting because it was just an interesting map to choose to do it on. It actually works out very well for the kind of strategy. And Clem then used that in his own matchup that I casted later on. And he's going to use it again here, or at least he's going to go 2-Rax Reaper for now. And we'll see how much pressure he'll actually put on behind this, how much he wants to keep with this. We're going to be seeing the first SCV, well, the second SCV is going to finish up here in a moment. Now, Guru will see this, right? As he comes forward, he will see 1 Rax and 2, but he won't see the 3rd Rax, which is actually going down on top of the ramp. It's kind of like Clem is already setting up for this secondary wall-off, so he gets a depot here to make wall-off number 1, but then you'll still have wall-off number 2 for a little bit later on, as Guru, by the way, already a Rotron, already looking to be aggressive. This is obviously very interesting from Guru's point of view, because now he can definitely push out a lot of damage quickly if he would like to, or defend very easily against those Reapers and then maybe counterattack for that damage. So let's see how this goes, as you're going to be seeing the first Reaper is about to pop, and we'll start to head up towards the upper left-hand side. Obviously, the whole idea of 3-Rax Reaper is that the Reaper numbers get to that sort of number where it becomes so difficult to begin to actually manage the Reapers that you start to be in a lot of trouble. This is actually the second Reaper coming across. The first Reaper's already here, my apologies, but it is here and already starting to attack in, which means that some damage is going to be done. So again, a couple of grenades going down. The Roach comes forward and is able to push back that Reaper as well. A few more Reapers just on the way up too. And we are going to be seeing, again, this kind of continuation of unit production. I mean, at the very least here, as long as Clem keeps these Roaches and Ravagers on this side of the map, this is already good for Clem, because you've got to look at this from the point of view that, you know, he is about to start expanding. The worker count will generally stay very good for Clem if Guru has to keep making units to keep on defending as well. So it's an interesting little scenario here, where we do see those couple of bars, so a couple of grenades going down once again. We're just going to be seeing some of these Zerglings continuing to drop too, so a little bit more damage being done here and there. 2 more Reapers on the way out. Another Command Center Dimension is obviously on its way, so that Clem can start to macro out of this. Again, initially aggressive opening. The factory obviously allows him to tack on up further as well, gives him a lot more opportunities and options, but I do like what Guru is doing. Only 3 Ravagers and a Roach. Clem isn't really finding a lot of damage, and Guru is just droning straight up behind this as well. He's not being held back in terms of economy or anything along those lines. His economy is really being held at a very kind of standardized sort of setting. Nothing really too crazy at all, as we do see a few of those Reapers coming around the right-hand side. And again, I mean, what else is happening? Well, the bunker's on the way up at the front, the command center is about to finish. Everything that Clem needs to stay safe here is coming through, and now that switch up as we see the tech lab coming down for the stim pack. So Stimpak's coming in. Obviously that'll be one of the things that starts to make Clem's army more powerful into the mid-game. Although he jumps up into 3 Ravagers now, 4 Ravagers I should say. And that says 3 dead Reapers. That is actually kind of painful. He loses a lot right away, as we are going to be seeing the Reapers having to pull back off over to the right-hand side now instead. And the lair of Guru is on its way up in this main base. So a lair coming up into the main. Again, Stimpak just starting from Clem. We're going to see that starport is finished up. He actually didn't go react on the factory, so he's just going to build 1 medevac for now. Maybe this is some sort of like double tank push or triple tank push even, where you start to set up a siege on this side of the base as soon as possible. The natural expansion, the more tanks you have for that, the better it's going to be, and it looks as though everything is designed to just hit that as fast as possible. You know, going straight into Tech Lab's tank production, making sure you're going to have stim for it, and only 1 medevac building at a time rather than a reactor then double medevac. It's all just a little bit different, as you see actually Iraq's going to lift up here, but this is kind of fine, right? I mean, he's got the SCVs to repair a bunk, he's got the siege tank here to hold off any much more of an advancement than that. So this is all looking pretty safe. I wonder if he goes across the map already. That'd be crazy. Oh, he's actually just looking to hunt down the Ravagers. Intriguing. Well, the Reapers here are going to get caught on their own, but it does tell them where the Ravagers are. They're probably a bit too far out to really go across the map and hunt down, surely, with that medevac. Maybe Clem doesn't think so. He's going across the map, and it is, again, just a medevac with a single siege tank inside. Going to be continuing to come across to the upper left, and obviously will, I mean, again, he can already siege up and he kind of hit the natural, but then he's very exposed. He's kind of just on his own. So I'm not sure what Clem is really hoping to get done with this first medevac. It really feels as though maybe it's something more along the lines of a, you know, maybe just a scout, but then why bring the siege tank? I guess in case you do find a couple of units, you can get something done. It's kind of, it's an interesting question. Clem goes into the engineering bay behind this, allows him to get the +1 attack upgrade. Now 2 reactors go down on these extra barracks on the natural. And obviously that will give him a lot of opportunity as well here. As this medevac and the siege tank drops down, and again a little bit of dancing. Just trying to fight their way, or fight its way through those Ravagers. A little bit of up and down, and again, good job so far, able to pick his way through a few more of those. A couple more shots here, a couple more shots there. 4 Infestors on the way up at the moment on the top left-hand side of the map. A few more Marines, siege tank, 2 more medevacs, 2 more barracks. All of this coming on through here from Clem. It's 5 racks in total. With 5 racks in total, I mean, obviously this is very aggressive, right? It's just going to be 2 bases. He's not going to go up to 3rd. This siege tank is genuinely getting quite a bit done. Yes, he hasn't really killed much, but he's forcing units to come into position. He is kind of keeping track of where units are because of it. He kills off a changeling. He's shut down a creep tumor. You know, he's done some little bits and pieces with this siege tank. It's interesting. After the 3-rack Reaper didn't really do much at all beyond arguably slowing the Zerg player down. Didn't really do much damage. This tank, you know, it's found some little bits and pieces. It's going to maybe actually get a cancel on a Ravager. That's kind of huge considering the scenario. Now, Infestors don't have energy for another couple of seconds for fungal growth, but now they will have them for the fight. And that's going to be interesting. The fact that Guru just straight up makes Infestors, because we don't usually see Zerg players kind of committing to Infestors for fungal growth this early anymore. They're not really that viable. So we'll see if this is going to be enough for Guru to hold on, as he's going into such a fast hive. All of this against a 2-base all-in. Yes, okay, there's a 3rd CC from Clem, so maybe I shouldn't say 2-base all-in, maybe I should say heavy pressure on 2 bases. But if Clem is success, you know, if Guru can't hold on to this attack, he just dies. As long as Clem does a bit of damage here, well, at least he has a 3rd CC coming up. But I guess the issue is then, if Guru does survive in some way, the hive obviously makes a massive difference, having that up already. That's kind of crazy. So we're also going to stem into the main. He sees the hive now as well, so Clem knows what he's playing against. Again, just teching this quickly really kind of weakens what Guru can have on the battlefield in terms of a straight-up army to fight with. And that's his biggest issue of the moment, is we're going to be seeing those tanks and sieging. Going to pull back down to the south side. Meanwhile, those Marines drop back in over on the 3rd base to get another couple of drones taken down. And again, very nicely done. Oh my god, fungal growth dropping down. Nice split from Clem to minimize the 2nd fungal growth from hitting both medevacs, and then maybe a, you know, possibly a corrosive valve follow-up. Quick pause from Guru here, hopefully not going to be too long. Just as that happens, why don't I quickly show you guys what's happening over in this Bly and Holy Hit game number 2. Bly is actually not in the best of positions right now, but he's about to get the Spire up, and that Mutilus transition I think is really going to cause trouble for Holy Hit. There's 11 minutes into this game. They're in a scenario where Holy Hit's been kind of hanging on. He's been doing some good damage early, but again, as soon as Mutas come on the map, Holy Hit's been kept so busy by Bly's army throughout this, he's just not even thought about Mutas. He hasn't had the chance to scout, and I think that's something which is really going to catch him off guard, and which really could cause some chaos for him. So we're going to keep an eye on that series and give you guys any updates, but we're back into this TvZ between Guru and Clem. So off we go as the scan comes down, a couple of creep tumors drop, and again, Clem just cleaning out creep, cleaning out whatever he can, but again, he needs more than that. In the long run of this game, like Guru's already on Hive Tech, can Clem really just get away with cleaning up creep? Does he not need to find more damage with this late of a 3rd CC? Yes, okay, the Zerg player's 3rd base was fairly late as well. Does he need to do something with this army? I kind of feel like he needs to do at least a little bit of something, but interestingly, Guru goes for Broodlords right away, not Ultras, and I feel Broodlords gives Clem even more time to get that done, but maybe even a harder time than afterwards if he doesn't get the job done. So it's again another little bit of a Hail Mary from Guru, perhaps you could say, where once more, if it works out, it's going to be even better for him. You know, same as the Hive. If the Hive worked out for him, it was going to be awesome. If it didn't, he was going to die quite badly. It's the same sort of thing now, going Broodlords instead of Ultralists. It can be very risky to do so, as we do see this medevac getting taken down. Guru shut down one of the sets of drops on the map. But if he gets those broods up, how does Clem fight against that? I just don't know if he's going to be able to, as we see a couple of medevacs and Marines off to the left-hand side now. And they're just waiting to try and take another fight here somewhere, just looking for a location to drop on into and just looking for something they can get done. A few more Corruptors on the way out. Greater Spire will be finishing in a moment or so. The storm comes down. And on the other game, sorry, I was just peeking away over there at the moment because that Holy Hit Bly game, just as a quick update, I'm not going to bring it up, but Bly is going to win that one. The Mutas did enough damage and he has an army to clean up now as well, so Bly going to move on through his bracket without any further issues. Two upgrades on the way then from Clem, as this game is going into more of a macro-oriented focus than I really thought it ever was, with how Clem opened up with, you know, how Clem followed up as well. But again, now he's on 3 bases. One thing he does have going his way is the upgrades. He's going up to 2-2 while there's only a +1 Carapace on the field, +1 missile attack on the way from Guru, but does he even have a second Evo Chamber? No. So his upgrades are going to consistently be a kind of deficit for him. I just don't know if Clem knows about that Spire. He did see the Spire building, so he knows at least the Spire started to build, but is the Spire actually morphing into a Greater Spire? Is that something he expects? That's a different question. Right now, he doesn't have an army to fight against Broodlords. Abiogenesis isn't a sort of map where you can just run around Broodlords forever like you might be able to on other maps. Now, seeing these Corruptors here, definitely a bit of a better sign that this is indeed, and he has seen the Corruptors before as well, right? So, I mean, those are obviously one of the big signs of this. That hatchery survives on 17 HP, and that's insane. He does get a cancel or kill on this hatchery down here, by the way, so that is nice with this one single medevac which is left over. So that's going to come back in towards the upper left-hand side, and those Corruptors going to get to work on it once again. Now he sees the Broodlords, so he knows for sure, but he only just now started Viking production, which sort of makes me feel as though he wasn't 100% aware of the fact that this was going to be Broodlords, despite seeing the Corruptors already, etc. So that is a bit of an interesting one, as we are going to be seeing that Ghost kind of getting ready to finish up in the back of this here. 4 on the way out as well. Again, +2 missile attacks also coming through. We are going to be seeing the second Evo Chamber also coming in on the left-hand side. Corruptors are going to be finding themselves the medevacs here once again. This is once more cleanup, and I mean, it's painful to lose medevacs at this stage of the game because generally you want to be focused on building Vikings or Liberators instead. As it stands, he actually still has 8 medevacs on the map, so he's actually kind of okay in that regard, but he does need to get the Vikings up as soon as possible because he, at the moment, needs more. If he's going to fight these Broodlords, there's no way he's going to get away with 2 to 4 Vikings and 2 Vikings being made at a time. Broodlords continue to drop down. We are going to see that Marine just lifting up into the medevac. A Corruptor gets a shot, but this medevac will live to see another day. As you see these changes coming forward, that's something which Clem should look to clean out ASAP, just to deny you some information from Guru. I mean, right now, Guru sees, for example, this army on siege, and an unsieged army is obviously one that's much easier to push into. Have to say though, while we've been kind of watching drops around the map and all the rest of it, Clem has done a great job of continuing to push around the south side of the map. I mean, we see a 4th base on the way up, a 5th and 6th base are now on the way as well. Obviously, they may not be taking his bases, but the command centers are there to float out if he wants to. And we're just going to be seeing these roaches continue around the left, and a couple of medevacs going around to see what they can get up to as well. Two medevacs going to go up the left-hand side. We are going to see again another few Broodlords on the way up. Another Corruptor on the way out. Those are medevacs. Need a boost, and they are going to boost away down the left-hand side. So they are just going to boost away, but I mean, obviously the boost runs out, and the fungal growth allows the Corruptors to catch this. The rest of the army comes in, but you have to be so careful of those infestors because the fungal growth energy is just so high. That could be absolutely terrifying. Couple more ghosts on the way out right now from Clem, as we are just going to be seeing those siege tanks continue to set up, and this command center just going to lift up and go down towards the bottom left hand corner. I mean, again, just more bases from Clem. This won't be an orbital, more mules to drop, more scans to kind of get vision with. I mean, Guru is only on 4 bases of his own. His economy is really non-existent if you think about it, compared to what his economy should look like. 57 drones against 68 SCVs, it's just not there. There's a reason Guru isn't establishing an insane bank. Yes, he's got good, a fair amount of minerals, but he is so gas-starved. That's something which is really going to hurt him as we see more roaches of Guru coming down to the south side. A few more roaches continue to move around, and we're just going to be seeing some ghosts coming in over from the right. Vikings overhead as well, and obviously this army from Clem is starting to look a little bit scary. I mean, anytime a Terran player starts to get ghosts on the map, it definitely becomes a terrifying prospect for the Zerg player. As Guru has about his own half of the map covered in creep, he's getting a 5th base in the upper right hand side, so he's continuing to advance himself here. We are going to be seeing the few roaches on the left still just gathering themselves together and looking to see what else will happen. Free weapon upgrades on the way from the Terran too. I mean, he's been ahead in upgrades all game long, and that's just continuing right now into this later stage of the game. Again, this is just game 1 of this best of 3, and every series I believe in this tournament is best of 3 in this qualifier for the WCS EU Challenger. This is the Challenger which leads into Austin, of course. Austin taking place at the start of June as the second WCS circuit event of the year. Ooh, Big Fungal Grove lands on the Infestors, but there's no follow-up in position, so those ghosts are able to sneak away. And, well, a couple of Infestors actually went down for that, and yes, it's nice to get some damage on the ghost, but that isn't permanent damage if there's Medivacs nearby. So that definitely is going to hurt a little bit, as we can see Roaches, Ravagers, and Broodlords all gathering up. So many Broodlords, by the way. We're going up to now 17 Broodlords in total. No Corruptors left on the field. There's some Queens to support against the Vikings. There is also going to be, well, a couple of Infestors, but really not that much in terms of anti-air from Guru. And I really feel that could be something which hurts him here in the next few moments. Missile turrets continue to finish up. And we're just going to be seeing another missile turret or two continue coming in as well, as those changes continue to get cleaned out. So a few more engines going down. Again, Roaches, Ravagers, and Infestor and Broodlords gathered up to push forwards. Corrosive Bars will get rid of one siege tank already. Another couple of scans to see what else is happening. Next Fungal Grove does miss. Marauders getting picked off there. Again, we haven't seen a single Ultras this game, so those Marauders don't really have much of a role to play. There's not even really Banes to tank against or anything, so I don't think it's too bad of a thing to kind of lose a couple Marauders there. And to kind of go in towards something else to kind of just, you know, replace that supply. Again, Clem's on the 5 bases. The 6 base here is still available for him, although he isn't in the best of positions to defend it, nor is Guru to defend his own 6 base. So again, if this goes kind of, you know, into a mined out scenario, those bases are very important, and then it comes down to efficiency, which Guru wins for now. But against Ghosts and so on, definitely starts to look to be more so in Clem's sort of favor. As these Roaches getting quite a bit done in this bottom left. Clem is very slow to send any sort of a response down towards that. I mean, I guess he just wants to lift up the CCs and just let the Planetary Fortress fight it. I mean, it works, right? He cancels one CC, doesn't matter, you know, doesn't bother him too much, 100 minerals, rather than having to pull units out of position. I mean, you can see where it makes some sense, right? It definitely does make sense. Now these Roaches just running back to the army and just going to die in the process, the majority of them. Broods are pushing forwards, and they are the one thing that can force a fight more so than most other things at the moment. Clem will go forwards, and he will grab some snipes. Just one Broodlord goes down somehow. Queen's transfused the other couple that was tagged by a ghost. A couple of spores also making it difficult for the Vikings to find a fight. That's where the Queens come into play as well. 2 snipes get a high energy Queen, and that is absolutely fantastic, because without, you know, picking off something every now and then, Clem's just going to be sat here making no progress at all. So that's been very nicely done up until now, as we're going to be seeing another couple of missile turrets dropping down. The Vikings still looking to see what they can find. I mean, answer is not really a lot. A few Marines find them way in towards the natural, but there's not really much over here either. A couple of drones went down, and that was about it. This army of Clem setting up in the middle. 18 minutes into the game number 1, we have got ourselves a cracker of a match here already in the very early stages of today's WCS qualifier. We knew this was going to be a good one going in, and it has definitely delivered so far. Vikings continue to try and fight away. Here's a couple of Fungal Growers going down. Snipe onto a Ravager. No, the Ghost gets killed to cancel that snipe. Wow, okay, well, again, that was a bit of a better fight from Guru. Getting a couple of kills there, at least. Felt as though Clem didn't really maybe get quite as much. One of those games where the zoom out function becomes very useful. Broodlords being transfused. Viking numbers just not quite there. Queen's taking some shots as well, though. Spore Crawl is actually a bit of an issue right now also, and the Liberators might have to reposition themselves because of that. Oh, the Ghosts are in range of the Broods. This is going to have to be a commitment from Clem, but his Ghosts are trapped. He has to run backwards. Now the Corruptors and Infestors are coming in as well. The Liberators are up in the skies. I don't really know what's going on. There's so much Zerg pushing forwards. These Ghosts are keeping continually Fungal Growth here, but the tanks are getting rid of the Roaches on the ground, and eventually I think the Roaches, the Ghosts just turn around and push this away, or is there too many Broodlords? It's kind of hard to say. Both players are taking huge losses, but I have to feel as though Clem lost a lot more of his more valuable units, aka, you know, Ghosts and Vikings and Liberators, and now there's still this massive Broodlord flock to deal with, and Clem just doesn't quite have an answer. There's so many of these units up here from Guru. I mean, we're talking about not many Corruptors, but the Queens go a long way to helping out with that. There's 14 Broodlords, and that's the issue. Without something to turn away those Broodlords, this is a massive, massive issue. And we've seen this nuke, obviously, Guru backs away from it. He won't just walk on in. Given some time here, Clem can rebuild. A 5th base, or 6th base already over here taken by Clem, but Guru wants to take it as well. Seeing this might prompt him to just move over there for the Broods and to deny that base for now, as we are going to be seeing these Corruptors coming in and trying to fight against those couple of Vikings. Overlord taking another shot of damage as well. Again, what they can done. Both players are going to remax here. If Clem remaxes, I mean, his army is great once again. It's just so scary when you see that kind of army of Broodlords marching forwards and there's just no response for it. 4 snipes take down 2 queens, nicely done as well. There's just no response for it because if you don't have the numbers already there, those Broodlords will just never stop. Fortunately, Guru pulled away and that gave Clem the chance to rebuild. And now that he's rebuilt, it looks so much better for him. We've seen Broods coming in around the right-hand side again. This time, Planetary Fortress is in position though, so at least it's something to help fight. But there's so many Brood lanes. Clem is going to respond with an army, but now he's going to get rid of those infestors. The EMPs are absolutely huge. There's only 1 infestor left with energy, and that gives Clem the ability really to just push this away, I think. I mean, here we go. The Liberators are going to siege up. There's 1 fungal growth available here, and it lands on absolutely nothing. Okay, I lie. It landed on a single ghost. The infestor control was absolutely abysmal by Guru. He just ran into everything. Those infestors just died. The ghosts, wow, they do run out of energy a little bit here at the latter end of this. The Planetary Fortress does end up falling, but Guru takes an expensive trade to make that happen. We're going to see some ghosts going down as they chase the Broodlords. Again, just the number of Broodlords and the Broodness they can pop out is so scary right now. It's really just crazy as we're going to be seeing those Marines pulling back. They've been kind of just helping out here and there as well. This 1 or 2 medevac, a lot of energy, but they definitely can put the work in to make something extra happen. Wow, what a game so far. Again, it's game number 1 of this best of 3, 22 minutes in, and on Abiogenesis you don't always expect these longer games, especially with the way that Clem opened. He opened to end this early, but Guru has been forced into a much later stage of this now, as we're going to be seeing a few Cryptubers going down. We are going to be seeing those Broodlings starting to drop down onto the Marines here, just to help push those back out through the center. And that Broodlord force continues to gather up together into the center of the map. Another nuke on the way up. Another Ghost Academy even being added on here and there just to give him the potential to nuke again and again and again. What's 1 nuke when you can drop 3, 4 at a time? Something that Mario has taught us in recent TvZ history. A few Marines up the right hand side picking away at a creep tumor, and again just a few changelings getting shut down very quickly. No real issue there at all. Shuts it down with no problem, and there's a very middling nuke. It's so worrying for Guru though, because he just has to check so many places to know where that nuke is. And it's just, you know, you gotta check all of your mineral lines. Yes, it's hard for a ghost to get there, but if he does get there, you don't want to let a nuke land on your mineral line, right? So you gotta check all of those, you have to check your army. You really have to just have like a setup where you're able to just cycle through all of those kind of locations very quickly to check for the nuke and to find it and respond to it. And it just scares him away from attacking because he doesn't want to be in the middle of a fight while that nuke is starting to go off. So that makes life very difficult for him. And again, while this nuke, okay, he finds this one very quickly, so he knows about it. He might even be able to get forced to get the kill, but there's going to be some snipes. A few Broodlords already going down. The Lings coming in to help out. The Fungal Growth comes in. EMP hits the Infestors as a counterplay. Ghosts start to split themselves up. Only an orbital here this time. No more Planetary Fortress. Snipes coming down again, but cancelled because of the number of Broodlings, and it looks like the Broodlings might be winning out this fight. The Infestors can't help out, though. They can't get close enough. The Ghosts have to pull away and look to fight again at a different point. Maybe now. But I mean, it's a really difficult Broodlord flock to actually fight against. It just feels as though Clem doesn't quite have the numbers, because every time he tries to fight, the Broodlings are just getting so much done. He's going to try and keep on defending this base, it seems. The Liberator and Siege just don't think he really wants to move further forwards. Looks like he wants to try and zone out the Queens, which are in very high numbers, and obviously they can go a huge part, you know, be a huge part of defending against this, as the Sniper will come down. That's another dead Broodlord. But it's only 1 dead Broodlord, and Clem himself, I mean, he needs this base, because if he loses this base, he does not have the economy to keep fighting here. He will run out. Resources lost is extremely Guru favored, so actually, Clem doesn't even just need to hold on to this base. He needs to take some very good fights in the next few moments what's been very good for Guru is that the way he's kept this pressure up has never allowed Clem to build up that Raven number, which is something that has also been a huge kind of determinant factor in TvZ as of late. And if you're not able to kind of get that Raven number up, you are in this position where, you know, units like Broodlords and so on are a little bit harder to engage, because in high enough numbers, they're actually very good at pushing those ghosts backwards. Bunch of snipes again, a whole bunch of brutes going down to that, and as these spores push forwards once more, Marines on the ground will come in to actually fight against that static defense, which is trying to just break the Liberator line to allow the Queens further forwards. We actually see some Corruptors coming in. Fungal Growth lands on the front couple of Ghosts. Some units, I think, accidentally loading up into a Medevac. Guru's continuing to push here. His army supply is down, though. I think Guru needs to be careful for the moment. He's going to get pushed away from this base, and Clem will hold on. I think that was a much better trade for Clem. From an 8,000 resources loss difference, it's now 4,000, and getting lower and lower as time passes by. Yes, the orbital goes down, but there must be another orbital somewhere you can kind of bring over here, right? As he throws down a nuke to really, finally, truly zone these units away, he is going to be able to continue pushing this back as that Cryptium setup. Well, at least that's something that'll go down here, so we are going to be seeing a couple of Cryptiumers, and again, just pushes Guru back a little bit. I love this drop, by the way. I mean, okay, I look at the Spinecrawler one, I don't love it as much because Guru's already prepared for it, but it's a nice idea, getting beyond this kind of army, which is, you know, everything's focused on the right-hand side at the moment. Guru and Clem are both just clashing on this front line. And yeah, on the left-hand side of the map, what is there? There's absolutely nothing static defense, but if you find a way through the static defense, you're going to find yourself some damage, and these Marines can definitely get behind this mineral line here. There's a nuke to distract while he runs into if there's drop perhaps, or while units are moving to deal with that drop. And of course, Guru has to try and find that. Yes, you can see that top, but man, it's really not easy to see, is it? If you're jumping between bases quickly, you can see, I don't think he's seen it because the spores are going to take some damage. Didn't pull them away in time. Marines will turn to fight. A fungal growth is good. He splits to minimize damage on another fungal, but it lets the Lings get the surround. And again, Clem's little drop is cleaned up here. Using that supply, I mean, he doesn't really need to clean up supply. He has 163 supply, so he isn't maxed out yet. Army supplies are still dead even in this game. 110 to 115. Again, another good fight for either player, and this could go any which way. So it really still is for both of them here. Within reaching, you know, within grasping distance of victory is within sight for game number 1. And of course, if they can grab a winning game number 1, the pressure kind of backs away a little bit going into game number 2 and all the rest of it. Another couple of ghosts on the way up, and obviously that ghost count is something which is just continually being rebuilt right now, as this nuke looks as though it's about to land. Again, just another couple of creep tuners, but it keeps Guru pushed back, but it does cost him, you know, Clem a little bit of resources, so you can't just be throwing down a crazy number of nukes here. He's lost 45 ghosts this game. That's insane. I mean, those ghosts are so expensive themselves. That's one of the big reasons why he struggled a little bit with that Broodlord camp, because he has been losing the ghosts, and that's why he has been, you know, when you look at the resource loss tab, being traded less efficiently than Guru as time has passed by. Ling run by to the bottom left. I like the idea, but I feel as though the planetary force should just be more than enough to defend against it. These Marines are moving over as well, and they will see this, so they know they're there. They do know they're there. Ghosts still moving around a little bit here, seeing what else they can do. Another nuke comes in, this time a little bit more ballsy, but in range of the spores means that these ghosts will go down. He gets himself a couple of snipes on Queens at least. Now, the issue with sniping Queens is the mineral bank of Guru is seemingly endless at the moment. You look at it, 3,500 minerals. Yeah, that looks kind of fine, doesn't it? It really doesn't look as though it's something he's going to be missing, having to rebuild a couple of Queens. Like, oh no, you killed my Queens. I mean, yes, Queens are useful in the fights, and you don't want to lose them, but if you're going to snipe something, the Zerg would rather you snipe Queens than the Broodlords. Just going to be seeing another couple of Cryptiumers coming down. Lings around the right-hand side, going to be trying to run on in towards this mineral line, and we are going to be seeing SCVs pulling away. Ooh. I mean, these Lings are going to get shut down. There's a lot of Lings, but again, the minerals are so kind of, you know, easy to throw away for Guru right now. They're so justifiable to throw away. And that's, you know, he still gets a tank, right? He still loses, so gets rid of a bit of mining for Clem here and there. Snipe actually comes down to another Queen that falls. The Broodlords are coming forward. They want to get that Ghost, which is dropping the nuke, of course, to shut that down. That would be ideal here, but the Ghost is actually going to stick around. He is going to get the nuke to land. Another few Crypt Tumors, and those spores just taking another little shot of damage here to continue on. To the right-hand side now, Infestors, Broodlords, Corruptors all gathering up. They're going to come brushing down the right-hand side, see what they can do next. This Orbital Command is somewhat exposed at the moment as, oh my god, a bunch of snipes coming down. Fungal Growth lands as well. Another nuclear drop just on the edge of this creep spread. Those couple of missile turrets actually might be in a little bit of trouble from his own nuke. They're going to take just the tiniest bit of damage. They do take actually quite a... It's not a ton of damage, but it's a little bit. Poor missile turrets, all they did was build there. They didn't get a choice in the matter. Suddenly they say a nuke dropping down, like, no, 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 trust me guys, you don't want a nuke here. What do you know, missile turrets? Clem doesn't believe in you. The Marines clean up more spores again. I mean, killing spores, it at least depletes the mineral bank just a little bit at the very least, as we're going to be seeing another spore crawler center here getting taken down. And these are the sort of pickups which are very nice. And it distracts Guru to grab a kill like that, but then the fungal growth comes in to get the counter kill on those ghosts. And that is again painful for Clem, because just as he gets a few broods, Guru is able to counter with, again, some ghost kills that really make the difference here. That 6,000 resources lost number is still just sat there in this game as the overlooming feature, as we are going to be having a few Marines moving forwards again, just looking again to clean out spores. Whatever you can find at this stage of the game is going to be somewhat worthwhile. A couple of spores firing away at this medevac up in the skies. One spore crawler goes down. Another spawn very nearly dropping. Medevac is able to find a way to loop around and get back. 30 minutes in, and this game has been an epic so far on Abiogenesis. Maybe one of the better Abiogenesis games I've seen. Ghosts coming forwards, but again, how much can you snipe before you have to just back away because the broodlings are just too high in number? I guess the question is how much does Guru have? He now only has 8 broodlords, by the way, because again, his gas count is so low. This base mined out of gas, this base mined out. In fact, if this base is mined out too, that means that Guru only has 1 base of gas income. So Guru, I mean, Clem might win this straight up off the back of just getting rid of Guru's gas, and even though Clem hasn't been most efficient overall in the game, Clem is also kind of completely drained for gas. He needs this refinery backup. He needs that refinery. If he doesn't have that refinery, he's just given up, what, like 1,300 gas? He needs it. I mean, it's going to be so important for him. So there's a bit more gas available to Clem than there is available to Guru, and that is important to keep note of, because gas is one of the resources here that could change a lot. I mean, you can see Clem's continue to add in some Marines now and then, because he realizes that he's so, mineral heavy, that the Marines are going to have to do something. Same as Guru is probably adding in a lot of these Lingers and Queens, knowing that his gas is so kind of limited here on Abiogenesis, because it's only a 6 base a player map. You only get, what, I mean, 30,000 gas to play with? That sounds like a lot of gas until you realize what's been lost in the game. We're talking 21 Infestors, 22 Corruptors, 29 Broods. You know, it's a lot of gas that's gone down the drain along the way, so it's highly important. This refinery does get taken, Clem making what is a very essential move here actually come to life. 178 to 182, neither player with anything in production here. 32.5 minutes into game number 1. Broodlords are still moving around here from Guru, looking to see what else they can maybe get done. A few missile turrets at the front are obviously going to be one of the warding features. A few more spores come on forwards as well, and we're just going to be seeing those continue to drop on down here. Those couple of Liberators going to have to unsiege and back away. Infestors will throw down Fungal Growth, grabs just a Viking for now. The Fungal Growth coming down here, and we are going to be seeing those ghosts just continue to have to back away. Again, it's so difficult. The Broodlord count is back to 12, so it's a little bit scarier than it was a moment or two ago. Spending some of that gas we've just been talking so much about on getting the Broodlords. Nice EMPs, hits a lot of the Infestors, but 2 ghosts go down for it. And EMPs are great because they stop the Infestors being used in a fight, but they don't actually kill the Infestors. There is going to allow him to make some progress up here, and that's some snipes that are going to go off on some Broods. Oh, but again, it's so costly. That ghost count now at 11. The ghost number just is not there to keep this held off, and Clem just doesn't have the money to keep this happening. I mean, what do? Do you eventually just try and run in with pure Marine? That just doesn't work unless you can get rid of enough Broodlords. How much gas is left? 1,000 gas remains. Clem has a bit more than that. If Clem can get rid of these last Broodlords and then about 5 more, he wins this game, I think, because then Marines stimming in on their own will win the game. But if the Broodlords are still up, they don't. And that's the big difference right now, and that's the big question. Can you get rid of the Broodlords? Can you get rid of the Broodlord count? That has to be Clem's play right now. He has to be so crucial for him. He has to really focus on this. Get some Marines in front of these Broodlings. That would be an amazing way to start off some of these fights. You're going to see these Spore Crawlers pushing forwards, a Liberator going down. The Liberators aren't the most important. Now, I love how Clem moves up the right-hand side, just as Guru moved through to the center. Again, it's going to be such a mineral war here soon. That's another couple of Broodlords. It's another win for Clem, that one. This time he doesn't actually lose Ghost in the return. Oh, nice fungal growth there, though. Catches a lot of Marines, but again, Marines, that's replaceable, at least for the moment for Clem. 2 more Broodlords on the way. So it's again another couple of Broods, as we're now on to less than 500 gas available for Guru in this game. 500 gas to mine, and then 150 or so in the bank. Again, that Broodlord count's getting lower and lower and lower. Viking fighting has to pull back, but doesn't do so in time. Those ghosts are so essential at the moment. Clem's making another couple of Vikings, which I don't like, because I really don't feel his goal should be to kill these Corruptors. I feel his goal has to be to kill the Broodlords. By building Vikings, he's kind of just playing into suppose, but I don't like the Siege Tank either, if I'm going to be honest. I think you just have to build whatever you can to kill the Broods, and I think that is Ghosts. You make as many Ghosts as you can, you hope to kill the Broods. I mean, that's such a hard thing to figure out during the course of a game. But I think that has to be, as the observer's point of view, what we look for from Clem as the win condition. A few Marines and Broodlords are fighting away here, and those Ghosts are looking for the position to snipe. There's another of those Ghosts going down. The Broodlord count is at 12, and Guru just has a little tiny amount of gas left over as Clem has 1,200. Oh man, this is going to be really tough. A few Liberators sieging up again. I see a couple of you guys in the chat talking about Ravens, but how do you afford Ravens in a game like this? I just don't think it's possible. I think we discussed it a little bit earlier, and I still stand by it. I just don't think it's something that can really happen in this game, because it's just not really being given that opportunity. Clem makes a medevac now. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind him adding a couple of medevacs in. It's just he has to be so careful with what he does spend his gas on, because every single little bit of gas is going to be so crucial. These Marines are up on the creep on the northern side. Tell you what, a big push of Marines on the left could deny this space, and it might only be, well, it's only 90 gas. Wow, there's really no mining left at all here for Guru as Lings stream in. This is where the rest of the units have to fight with those Lings. We're going to see a couple of snipes on Corruptors. It's again the Broodlords though. Corruptors don't really matter, because if the Corruptors are left standing, so what? The Marines will run underneath and kill Corruptors if the Broodlings aren't there. So if you can just get rid of these Broodlords, we're on 11 Broodlords to go with 12 Ghosts on the map. It's possible for Clem, it's possible for Guru. It comes down to the fights, it comes down to the engagements. It's not over yet for either player. Clem is hurting an army supply, but I really stand by the idea of what on earth is Guru going to do with 14 Corruptors once those Broodlords are gone? What are, 8 Infestors going to do against a bunch of Stim Marines? What are Queens going to do against a bunch of Stim Marines? I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. But again, he needs to find the snipes on those Broodlords, and that's not easy with those Infestors moving forwards, the Spores moving forwards here. The tank is trying to hold this off, but that tank is not long for this world. That's going to be the first click of those Broodlords here in a second. And he is going to get that down. There's the snipes. Gets just a single Broodlord there. The fungal growths come down. The Ghosts, one of the 2 of them do fall. Oh man, 67 Ghosts lost in the game. It's now 10 Ghosts, 10 Broodlords. A snipe on an Infestor. That's nice. An Infestor is a good pick-off. Guru only has 145 gas left. He can't even really build anything of value with that anymore. 37 minutes in, the standoff continues. Broodlords drop on down with these Broodlings. A Ghost in the front doesn't go down. Continues to split away. Needs to drop a couple of snipes right now. Needs to drop a couple of snipes. Cannot let these Ghosts die without at least picking up a Broodlord in return. He's going to chase now, and he will target one Brood, but the fungal growth comes down before the second snipe. A nuke will try and land on top. Clem's just going to go for it, but I don't think he has enough of the way that this is going. The Broodlords are going to be too powerful. It was kind of a Hail Mary nuke, perhaps. Again, he had to kill the Broodlords, but it just hasn't happened, so Clem's going to tap out. 38 minutes. Our second game. If you're just joining, honestly, at a great time, because the series we just watched was insane. Not even the series, the game. We just had a 40-minute mined-out game on Abiogenesis here between Guru and Clem. So we're going to have a second game now on Acid Plant. This is not a map which actually goes split map. Abiogenesis actually goes split map quite easily if you do get through the early game. Acid Plant can be a bit splitty, but it's much easier to find openings, to find attack paths. So we'll see how this goes, we'll see what happens. There's definitely a lot of potential for some fun here though. Thank you again to Base Trade for the host, and welcome everyone who's just joining us. Hope you're having a good time. Again, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, come say hi in the chat. It'd be a pleasure to see who's up. Let me know if it's your first time ever watching me. Otherwise, let's jump into our second game of this best of 3. To the top left hand side, the red Terran player from XED Sports. This is Clem. And to the bottom right hand side, the blue Zerg player is Guru. Alright then guys, so This is Clem versus Guru as we continue bringing you guys StarCraft 2 action throughout the day here. It's such a busy week. BTSL, Alimo League, all those usual weekly competitions continue. We have our own WardiTV events later this week as well, but we do have coming up, obviously today and tomorrow, the WCS EU Challenger Qualifiers, which of course is the dream, you know. That's where, this is where the journeys begin. You start off in the EU Challenger qualifiers, you go into the next stage, which is the actual Challenger event. You can qualify to go to Austin from there, and on and on. What's up, Chillman Jedi with the 4-month resub in the chat as well, saying always good to see some more StarCraft. Thank you so much for the 4-month resub, mate. Thank you for the continued support. It means a lot. Hope you had a good one so far over the weekend as well. And thank you for the 4-month resub, as we are going to be seeing a factory here. Now, obviously, just to kind of reiterate what happened in the last game as well. Last game, I mean, straight up, these games are going to be different because it's Abiogenesis and Acid Plant, right? But here on Acid Plant, we are going to be seeing a factory-based opener, which makes a lot of sense that we're not seeing the same thing. Last game, we saw 3 rack sweep opening, which, if we do see it anymore, it's on Abiogenesis because it's a good map for it. Here on Acid Plant, there isn't even a ledge to jump into the main base with, so it's just completely unviable as a way to open, and that's why we're going to be seeing this Reaper hunting down these couple of Zerglings. So, Reaper hunting down a couple of Lings there, and obviously, it's why we only see the single Reaper, and now the factory coming up, the starport will drop on down as well. And again, if you just joined, I guess I should also say 1-0 for Guru right now in this best of 3. Barrack's going to move on over to Tech Lab as we see a couple of Hellions on the way up on this reactor. Command Center just finishes up. There is a couple of Lings that made their way across the map, but I mean, if the CC already finished, it's not really much of an issue. The Hellions are almost here. These couple of Zerglings will not be able to do too much at the end of the day. And we are going to be seeing those couple of Hellions about to pop out, and those Zerglings will begin to fall over the next couple of moments. So, again, nice little run around in the SCV to keep it alive. Not really challenging for someone like Clem, but obviously it's nice to see because it's what we should be seeing, as we are going to have that Reaper just continue to move around and just dropping a grenade to get a kill on my crew tumor. Is it worth to lose the Reaper for the creep tumor? It's an interesting kind of little trade-off, isn't it? Yes, he didn't really gain a lot more information, but he did know the third base was going to get taken. The Hellions come over now to keep that sort of info. I don't mind it. It's very hard to run the Reaper in and get info anyways, and killing a creep team is like 25 energy that the Queen loses out on early in the game. It's actually a pretty big deal. I actually think I quite like it. I think it's ideal, obviously, if the Reaper gets away, but I don't think it's a bad thing as long as he gets that creep tumor kill. So that's a nice little pickup right there. And we are going to be seeing the couple of Hellions coming back up to the top side of the map. So I want to say thank you very quickly to a couple of people coming through. First of all, Phoenix636 for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to the Wardy family, mate. Actually, only 1 sub away from 250 again, which is awesome. Rebuilding that sub count. Thank you so much. And thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. And very quickly, just before these Lings get caught, do I have time for it? No, we don't. Okay, Lings are going to get caught here by the Hellions, so they're going to start taking some damage. Hellions will move around a little bit here, and we are going to be seeing them continue to chase away. Viking picks up an Overlord kill. That's a nice little something, as again, those Hellions chasing down the Zerglings through the center of the map. And those Lings are going to be chased all the way away towards the third hatch, which is about to finish up. Behind it, it's a Stim Pack. There's not too much pressure here, just Hellions and a Liberator. Not even an army to morph in Hellbats or anything. These Hellions are continuing to catch quite a lot of the Zerglings here, which is obviously very nicely done. And that's always awesome to see, as we see a few more Lings to the right, but they don't quite get there. And so they are just going to be backing away again. Roach speed on the way up from this Roach on the back of the natural. Lings across the map will try. Well, you know what? They're going to find themselves an SCV. A couple of Marines are coming on forwards and just going to continue to pick their way through a few of those. Hellions again, just sat outside the edge of the creep spread, trying to slow creep and slow the Zerg wherever possible. But for now, everything seems to be backing away, and not much else happening other than a couple of players, a couple of movers poking here and there. Okay, just going to quickly throw out the donation shout out, guys, just we do have a quick moment of calmness in the game as some Roaches start to move across. LaserSec with the $10 donation. Can we get some Woody Hearts in the chat for LaserSec, please, guys, as well as Phoenix636 for that Twitch Prime sub. LaserSec with the $10 says, why not get Woody's daily donation goal done early, chat? Well, thank you so much, LaserSec, for the $10 donation. Get some love in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for the support of the channel. As always, LaserSec, someone who supports every match Reno page I think I've ever looked on, which has something to do with StarCraft 2. Pretty much he's a sub in like every stream I go to that he's in as well, so thank you so much, LaserSec. As we do see those roaches obviously starting to come across. Nothing too aggressive. Yes, roach speed is about to finish up. Is Guru really looking to attack? Not really. The Hellions have found their way into the third base mineral line though. And that means we're going to be seeing a lot of those workers going down. That's an entire mineral line. This isn't enough roaches to surely be an actual threat here, and Clem knows it. He pulls his tank back just a tiny amount, and SCVs will repair the wall. Yeah, goodbye roaches, what are you going to do? You just lost so many drones on this side of the map that Clem takes a worker lead, 50 to 48. A third CC moving out into position, and Clem is living the Terran dream at the moment, which is actually finding the early game damage against the Zerg, which is pretty much always going to put you in a pretty awesome spot to move forwards from. More roaches showing up. The one thing Clem has to be very careful of is not overextending against a Zerg player who is being a bit more aggressive than usual, if not all in. You know, he still has a good amount of roaches and roach speed already in the game, so he has to be a little bit cautious of this. That tank siege is up, and Clem will even drop a Viking to fight, pulls a few SCVs in. That tank shot is huge, man. It got so many of these roaches onto red and orange health. It just means that the cleanup squad of Marines is going to have much easier of a time here, and that's exactly what happens as we do see those roaches pushed away down the left-hand side. Very, very nicely done. Well, third CC came up in the meantime from Clem, and that's also a great part of that, right? He was able to actually get his third CC landed, and SCV starting to mine throughout that little bit of a skirmish where the roaches came across the map to look to see what was up and what was happening. Roaches here gathering themselves around with the Zerglings as well onto that hatchery. We do see some Marines, tanks, and medevacs going to start moving out, so a bit of a push from Clem to line up with his 1-1 attack upgrades, as well as the combat shields, and that's really going to help him make a very powerful push forwards here in the next couple of moments. So let's see what he can get done. 4 medevacs, 2 siege tanks. Now he's going to go not towards these rocks because there's no fourth base for him just yet, although there is now. One of the cool things he can always do is siege the tanks up here and drop to the other side of those rocks to hit this fourth. Instead, Clem's just going to go for a straight up push at the front, and so far, look at this confidence. Again, Guru is rushing the infestors, and they're out, but they don't have the energy for another few seconds. So has to be very, very careful. We're going to see one Ravager gets picked off, Marines split themselves up, the tanks in the back there to support, and already Guru taking some damage. I mean, losing an Overlord, suddenly he's supply blocked, suddenly he's in a big supply block. Now he's kind of forced to fight just to free up some supplies so he can keep on building more reinforcements. Clem just pulls back so much to make sure that he can just get so much tank fire into these engagements as well. And he pulls away mostly kind of in a way that drags the roaches away from his tanks. That's also great to see, although that would be a full medevac going down. That would be painful as reinforcements arrive in a medevac. Big fungal growth though lands on pretty much everything of the Terran. A second fungal to follow it. The infestors will go down, however. Roaches and Queens keep on pushing in, and this might just be a cleanup by Guru. But this was an expensive cleanup by Guru. I mean, that was one heck of a loss. I mean, we are talking about what? He just lost here, like, multiple infestors. In fact, what did he lose? 4 infestors, a lot of roaches, a couple of his queens. That's not the sort of loss you get over very quickly, so that does hurt. As we see a few Marines and medevacs gathering themselves together just outside of this third base here. As we are going to be seeing another couple of Ravagers on the way up. And a few more roaches getting themselves joined up as well to get ready for the next wave of defense. On the plus side, this fight happened towards Guru's third base, so he was able to deflect away from a hatchery. He didn't lose a fourth base in the process, so he does still have 4 bases up and ready to rock and roll here. So there's still a lot of potential around here from Guru. As we see a sensor tower coming up just out the front of this orbital. Just getting Clem, you know, he's just getting confident in the game. A couple of medevacs to the right-hand side. Generally, a Terran player won't want to push again until 2-2, but Clem's 2-2 is very delayed. Yeah, you'll remember that I was saying, you know, that first push was coming along with the 1-1 finishing. And that was definitely more than a minute ago, and yet his 2-2 is only 35 to 45 seconds along. And so in this scenario, Clem's delayed his 2-2, whether by mistake or intentionally, but it means that a 2-2 attack timing is going to be later than normal, and that does mean that the kind of attack before Ultralisks is so much weaker. Or if he does attack with 2-2, he's probably going to attack against Ultralisks rather than before Ultralisks. So does it limit what Clem can do? Yes, it really does, I think. And in that case, what does Clem do instead? Well, let's see now. He has a couple of drops here still. Those fungal growths are nice, but obviously the medevacs can just lift up those Marines and get them away from the fight still. I'm just going to drop over here and get them healed back up again. Clem's army is coming across. I mean, even without 2-2, he might just try and push pre-Ultras because there is a lot of money being invested in Ultras right now. It's money which is in production when without, you know, when it does come on the map, it doesn't even have kindness plating yet. So it's money which is not best spent yet for Guru, but in a minute it's going to be money that's really well invested. So you know, attacking before that investment is complete is going to be extremely, you know, potent here for Clem. Let's see if he can get something done. The Infest has been dropping a few fungal growths, some medevacs and drops, which means there isn't a lot for this main army. Two medevacs jump off over to the left-hand side as well, forces Clem to kind of, or Guru, sorry, to think about that direction as well here. Again, just another fungal growth dropping as these two medevacs continue down over towards the south side. Bio continues to push on forwards. We are going to see that hatchery is taking quite a bit of damage. Roach is taking a few shots as well now, as we are going to be seeing a couple of drones. Actually not going down, he just focuses on the fourth hatch. Clem gets the fourth hatch and seems to be somewhat happy with that. His medevacs are a little bit stuck here, but honestly, it's far from the end of the world. I think having a couple of medevacs stuck here, it could be a lot worse. As we see, Marines are just going to stim on forwards, and another few creep tumors are going to go down once again. So a few creep tumors going down. We are going to be having this Ultras coming up to try and jump on towards that army. A few more tanks going to unsiege and relocate themselves as a fusion core and a starport, and allows Clem to get in towards the next stage of this game, which is going to be Liberators and Ghosts and all that other good stuff. Meanwhile, by the way, just as this game goes on, Petit Drogo is just taking a game off a Goblin as he continues to advance his way through his side of the bracket. We haven't jumped into the second screen of action because this TvZ series has been insane. Just keeping you up to date with what we are part of right there and of what's going on. So Petit Drogo continue to do well so far in a couple of PvPs. You have this Roach attack though. This is amazing. Gets a couple of siege tanks to even threaten some of these ghosts. Nice depot lift there to kind of bait the Roaches forwards and then to shut them down. And this is going to be a kill without much more loss, but losing a couple of tanks is still a little bit expensive, and that's not pretty. That is not pretty. As Ravagers and Ultras come over to the right hand side, I mean already that's going to be a couple of dead siege tanks here probably. Ooh, doesn't actually quite get the connection which he needs. Two Infestors full of energy going down as well. I mean, obviously, these are all things which are going to be massively great, you know, amazing for Clem, as he actually finds himself a full energy queen. The rest of the queens there just not attacking. Yeah, has to cancel the fourth because he can't transfuse a building which is actually still building. So that is going to hurt. A couple of Ultras moving away to the left-hand side. The Liberators have sieged up here once again from Clem. More Ghost Bio coming forwards. Again, the set of Bio and tanks coming down towards the south side as well. Wants to push on in towards this hatchery, and that's a kill this time. Guru going to get the fourth base up in the bottom left instead, but as soon as Clem catches wind of that, feels like the sort of base which Clem will be able to push in towards very easily without much issue at all. Extractor taking a few more shots of damage here. And while these Ultras and Lings continue to go up towards the upper left-hand side, the snipes are good. I mean, an Ultra's going down right away. I'm just going to be seeing the little bit of a stim forward to see what else is happening. I mean, this Ultra is just on a journey to kind of die. He really doesn't want to survive, does he? So that Ultra gets picked off. I mean, that's a 6 supply just down the drain right from the get-go. So that is painful here, as we're going to see again. There's Bio continue to pull backwards. The Ghosts need to try and get the... Oh, the Ghosts are in trouble. They're actually trapped all over the place. They're getting fungal growth. Not a single snipe from Clem, and that's the sort of engagement that Guru could really use here to push on forwards. And you can just hear the Ghosts going down all over the place, and Clem's going to fight back from that fight, but that wasn't pretty. All these Ghosts kind of up on this side, can't go to the left, can't go to the right, because the Zerg army was in that concave. And that was a lot of pickoffs from Guru. It's going to make Clem's continued defense here a little bit more difficult. Now, just trying to push into this location. These Liberators actually engaged by a few Corruptors, where there's no response to them at the moment, because Clem's army was out of position on his 5th base. That said, it is a 5th base for Clem, and we're still talking about Guru just about setting up a 4th, so in terms of economy, Clem is the one in complete control there at least, so we do have to keep that in mind, that Guru's position is not as amazing as it seems off the back of that fight, because he had a really rough time getting to that sort of fight anyways, and obviously that does hurt a little bit for him. Well, Ultras, Ravagers and Corruptors all moving off over to the left-hand side here, plus free attack on the way, about to finish from Clem. He did forget his armor upgrade. That's something which will hurt him a little bit here moving on, but the attack upgrade's the more important one, and that's the one which he will have, so at least that is a big positive. And we do see these Ghosts coming forwards. They're going to be able to potentially get a couple of snipes, but again, they have to be so cautious. Make sure they don't get caught off too off guard. One of the big things I think for Clem in that last game is he just lost too many Ghosts. If he retained his Ghosts just a little bit more, he really would have been able to get a lot more done. Like, a lot more done, so... As these Ghosts continue to gather together, we are going to be seeing a Marauder continue to fight here, and that Queen continue to be pushed away down to the south side. Clem, let's look at the recent units lost already. Already 8 Ghosts. That's actually not too bad considering how bad that previous fight did look. It was that stage of the game where there wasn't too many Ghosts on the map. If it happened now, if like this clump of ghosts got caught in this position, could be actually a game-ending sort of movement. So Clem has to be cautious not to make the same mistake twice, as he will take this gold base, and he actually gets up to a Plangy before any units are able to contest it. So as he cancels this 4th base of Guru once again. I say 4th, now it's kind of his 5th, but it was the base he tried to take as his 4th initially. It's the 4th, 5th time that base has gone down here. Painful, and so is what that Ultralisk feels. A couple of snipes, and it does not last more than a couple of seconds, as SDV is going to be required to help repair this one. 94 is under some pressure, and these couple of Ultras are so powerful. Ghosts are on their way over to help with it, and it looks as though these Ghosts might just be arriving in time. A couple of snipes come down. Okay, the Planetary falls, but there's an orbital to take its place. I mean, an orbital isn't ideal, but it will do the job until a little bit later. And even if the orbital gets forced to lift, there'll probably be a different command center at that stage to then come back in. But just keeps his economy going, right? I mean, Clem continues to build up this bank. He has 1.5k of both minerals and gas here. Whereas Guru is once again a little bit starved on gas because his base count has been limited to, 3 for a very long time, and now it's been limited to 4 rather than 5. That Fungal actually kills that Medevac, which is a nice little pick-off full of units. Clem picked up thinking he could get out, but didn't realize the Medevac was going to die, so he gets punished for that small mistake. Full Medevac of units lost, but at the same time, still making some big pick-offs. He even getting infested for a Fungal Growth out at a group of Marines, which just dodged it so easily. It was almost like slow motion Fungal. It was just never going to connect. It was like, wow! As the Terran units just sort of like skipped away from each other. And there's the difference from Clem already now in this game number 2 compared to game number 1. The Raven is on the way up. Now this Raven is something which we didn't see in the last game, and I really feel there's a good reason for it. Already here, Clem has 6 bases, and he's been under a lot less pressure. And I think this is just straight up the difference, right? He's got more bases much more easily, so he's actually able to start building up that Raven count, which is going to then actually become very deadly here, potentially. So we'll keep an eye on it, we'll see how high he goes. It definitely makes a lot of sense for this to happen, as we are going to be having this hatchery going to be dropping, and it does indeed drop and fall. Single nuke lands on half of a Broodlord. As once again, this base is just not destined to be taken at all. Like, this base is just not meant to happen, right? Clem is just not going to let you have this, Guru. Just face the fact, deal with it. As you are going to see Broodlords coming in. It was the Broodlords that were able to make a difference in that last game as well. They were the units that were able to push away the Ghosts time and time again. It was the units that gave Guru the fights, which were just that little bit better. As we do see these couple Ultras coming up here, he's looking for this little drop of units, but actually this drop of units is going to survive for now. He actually sees the Ultras, now the Ultras see him. It's actually kind of sucky for the Ultras, who will, I guess, at least be able to kill this space still. That means these 2 Ultras are just going to go down without doing anything. And again, this is a cancel up here, but Clem knows about it. It's taken so long that he will get the cancel, so there's 100 minerals lost for about 4 Ultralisks. And buys obviously Guru some time to maybe push into the center, but can he do anything with this little bit of a push? I don't think he's far enough forwards. And I think Clem's already on his way back over to deal with that now, so looking okay, but again, has to be ready to deal with those Broodlings, and the first Broodlings very nearly get a Ghost already. Another CC over here. Clem continue to fight. Doesn't know about bottom left, he definitely knows about bottom left, so he does know that base there as he snipes down a couple of Queens. Again, Guru just can't seem to establish anything so far in this game. I mean, we are talking about him struggling along at 900 gas while 30-40 supply down. Guru is in a little bit of trouble. Just not having access to a 9th and 10th refinery or extractor in this game, just being limited in that gas mining really means that he's not able to keep up with these trades. And in terms of resources lost again, because we haven't had those Broodlords around for so long, picking off Ghosts every single fight, we're just not seeing Guru trade anywhere near in the same sort of manner that he was trading in that game number 1. Everything is just kind of the other way around this time. Clem is in control, Clem has what he needs, Clem is able, it seems, to kind of get up into a position which is going to be so strong in the late game. Obviously with these Raven numbers starting to increase. Yes, it's only a couple for now. I say as there's 6 or 7 already out over here. Okay, there's a lot more than I thought. I knew he'd started him up, but I didn't know he was actually still continuing. But that is 8 Ravens and continuing to grow. So this is where it's already becoming very scary for Guru. And that gas investment from Clem is going to start paying off very shortly as he starts to include these Ravens in the next few fights. You can even see kind of how much more comfortable Clem is with the economic game with the nuke production. Last game he only had 2 Ghost Academies max. This game he's already making 3 nukes at a time. He's not even thinking about it. He's not even thinking about it. Anti-armor missiles land on just the first Broodlord there. A little bit uninfluential, honestly. Not really too surprising, and obviously no real splash damage to be seen. A bit of a waste of energy initially. I guess it's still a little bit of something. He's actually just dropping an anti-armor missile on each of these broods for the moment, so a couple of ghosts come forwards and they hit a couple of snipes as a follow-up to that, and the snipes do work. I guess with the help of the brood lord, it's actually kind of crazy, because with a anti-armor missile, it's down at 195. I guess it's not quite enough damage, right, for 170. Yeah, it's tough actually. You need a couple of anti-armor missiles to strike, and then the Broodlords are one-shottable with a snipe, which I think is what Clem's aiming for with a couple of these anti-armor missiles. Oh my god. Clem, he's going for, the Guru's going for this ghost, and he just gets it with those couple of Broodlings. Oh my god, the anti-armor missiles come in and strike once again. Those Broodlords get tagged heavily. Queens transfuse what they can, but they even don't have that much energy. She's been losing Queens as this game goes by. And Guru, as he finally gets this base up for what, about a minute and a half? Clem's already here and continue to press down in to make sure he's going to get the kill. Snipes an Infester. Ravage at the front, that's going to go down in the next few moments. Should just be a simple snipe. Oh, we'll just bait it in towards the Liberator. I guess that works as well. Oh look, it's more anti-armor missiles, and that's just going to rip apart those Broodlords again. Painting them orange, and orange doesn't suit Broodlords too well, because now they are just going to be sat here so vulnerable, low on hit points again within one snipe range. That's going to be very painful as the fungal growth comes down, doesn't quite connect on enough of those ghosts. Yes, another nuke comes down at the front. Broods are going to go for the ghost kill, which is a fine way of dealing with it. If you actually kill the ghost, just gets there. Just gets there. Anti-armor missiles yet again. Broodlords taking some hits once again, and again, Clem doesn't even really need to capitalize on this straight away, because just over time, these anti-armor missiles are just killing the Broodlords on their own. A few of them go off, and oh my god, the clumping is so real as Parasitic Bomber 2 gets towards the Ravens, and that's annoying. He loses one Raven, maybe even a second. I mean, it's nice to get rid of a couple of the Ravens, right? But you've still lost so many Broods here. Resources lost is so favored to Clem. It's completely the opposite from what we saw in that game number 1. And Clem with just a much better early game, a much stronger mid game because of that. And from there, he's really set himself up so well into the late game stages now. As you see, one more nuke, this time the Ghost is still at the front. One Broodlord goes forwards. Broodlord, I don't know if you want to be there, buddy. These spores probably want to unburrow and move away as well. So a little bit slow to pull all of them away. And that hatchery takes another shot, which gets it low, but doesn't quite kill it. And another nice snipe off to the right-hand side of Broodlord goes down, and we are going to be seeing a couple of Broods at the front also getting picked off. The ones that are low on health just means they only need one snipe each, and that's another perfect example of it. 1, 2, and then this one takes 2 to go down. And Guru's supply is just being sniped away at, honestly, is the best way to describe it. GG, and Clem takes game 2 to tie us up 1-1 in this faster, aggressive scenarios. This is going to be one of them. To the top left-hand side, our red player is going to be Guru. And to the bottom right, our blue Terran throwing SCVs across the map here for the 2 racks. It is Clem. So Clem changing up everything for this game number 3 to try and win this. I mean, again, the 2 racks nowadays, it's a 2 racks, it's a pressure play. You come in, you throw down a couple of racks, you pressure while expanding. You're not necessarily looking to win the game, but you definitely can win the game off the damage you do here. Let's see how successful this is going to be for Clem. The first 2 racks start up, and so far the important part is there that Guru hasn't scouted this coming. And yes, the second Overlord is on its way in this sort of direction. He turns it a little bit, has to be a little bit cautious there, doesn't want to be too caught up in this, doesn't want to mess up too badly. Well, needs to find this couple of racks would be so ideal for him, just helping him to deal with this. He's already got Hatch first, but just knowing that he needs to get a spine ASAP, make sure he does have defenses up, that's going to help a lot, as we are going to be seeing the couple of racks. Well, they're just going to start finishing as Guru finds them here on the left-hand side. So that's a big find here from Guru. Nicely done by him, as we are going to be seeing this SCV starts a bunker way far back, by the way. Probably in the realization that this is very likely drones get pulled to try and fight it. So by building it kind of close to the back, it gives the Marines an easier time deflecting. As now it's a Marine against a few drones and a couple SCVs. He needs another Marine or so here before he can really fight this. He's going to keep moving forwards. Obviously, I mean, obviously, a lot of it just comes down to straight up micro in these sort of situations. As you're going to see a second bunker just starting to leapfrog towards that hatchery. The first bunker just gives you a bit of a safe haven to sort of sit in, as we are going to be having the couple of Marines continue to come forwards here, and now this hatchery starts to take some hits. Tenling's on the way, Spinecrawler starting on the low ground. A lot of confidence here at the moment. A lot of confidence here at the moment, as we are going to be having those Marines just poking away at that hatchery. Marines pulling back. They probably want to jump themselves back in towards this bunker. Nope, no, they're happy to just go sit here. But the Lings at the same time are going across the map. There's a full wall off. Clem will be looking towards probably a Cyclone just to start cleaning that up. As we see 2 more bunkers coming down at the front. I mean, he's still very committed towards making this work out for himself here. Let's see if he can really make that magic happen. As the Spine Crawler, first one, will now move into range of those bunkers to try and fight this. Obviously, Lings and Queens to help fight the Marines and push them back for the moment, allowing the Spine Crawler time to actually get burrowed in this scenario. And that Spine Crawler burrowing will now be able to start working its way through at least the first bunker. Second bunker, SCV targeted. The other SCV's out of range for the moment. He will be able to get into this bunker, but will he actually be able to do much with it? I mean, the repair's coming down, but there's going to be double Spine in range. I don't think there's really a way. He actually moves this other Spine actually away from the bunker a little bit because it was taking a little bit of damage along the way. Bunker salvages. And we are just going to be having those few Marines continue to set up and get ready to go. Well then, across the map, those few Lings are not going to do much. It was a Hellion that came out here initially rather than the Cyclone. Means that he's going to throw down the Starport. Hellion works as well. And now he throws into a Reactor. Starport on its way up. And we'll have to see how Clem continues. What is interesting is that Clem hasn't expanded at all. In a kind of a scenario where you usually would expect an expansion to come down at some stage of this. So, no expansion at all means he's looking to win this off of just a big follow-up attack. How is that going to look? With a Reactor on a factory? I actually don't know. Does he Reactor out? I kind of feel like he might want to Reactor out Cyclones just to have some real pushing power. Otherwise, what is he playing for here with no expansion? I mean, okay, there's the expansion now. It's just such a... It feels so late. I mean, obviously this is a proxy T-Rex, right? But maybe it's just because of the lack of damage Clem was able to achieve on this side of the map. Either way, the CC gets thrown down. We're going to be seeing a couple more Hellions on the way out for the moment. And they're going to be popping out here momentarily to allow us to keep on moving forwards in this. A couple of these barracks continue to move in towards the main base. So we do see one Hellion, 2 Hellions actually able to pick off that Zergling. And another Zergling is going to be under some fire as well. So Ling's going down, and as they run up towards the top side, we are going to be seeing this next couple of Hellions continue to come forwards and cleaning up. So no Lings for you, Guru. And again, tied up 1-1, guys. This is a double elimination bracket, so even if you don't win in this matchup, now you do have a second life in today's event. But man, it's not easy, right? It's it's really not easy because you're going to have such a trek through that lower bracket. There's going to be so many matches to play. It's going to be a very, very tough run if you want to make it all the way through. So definitely prefer to stay in the winner bracket as long as possible. Skip out on as many lower bracket rounds as you can. It's going to go a long way for you. Just going to say, by the way, as well, thank you very much, Comedian1. I don't think I shouted you out, but thank you for the cheer 10 in the chat. Appreciate the bits. And as you see, this Hellion drop is about to come on into the main base, though. And here we have it. Already, I mean, Cryptium at the edge taking a bit of damage, and Drew is not immediately prepared, so a few drones will go down. That's 3 so far, now 5. And he'll turn around, and that's 6, so... I mean, 6 worker kills for the Hellion drop is not bad at all. It's damage that helps Clem out in this game where he was very delayed on his own CC. His economy definitely has been in some interesting places. You're going to be having a few roaches coming across the map, but bunkers are finishing. There's not really that many roaches, so really not too much of an issue at all. And it's a pretty easy turn away. I'm kind of surprised Guru committed in with the roaches like he did. I mean, he saw the bunkers about to finish. Did he really just think Clem didn't have anything? It's kind of it's a weird move. Doesn't really make a lot of sense as this factory wants to get the tech lab. The starport goes to the reactor. Great add-on efficiency in the early game here by Clem, making sure that his add-ons make a lot of sense as to where they go, what they're used for. One single Banshee with the cloak is something you'll move across the map with now, and Guru, well, obviously we've seen him with the spore crawlers. That's one of the big things about the Hellions in the medevac as well before. He was able to see a little bit as to where those spores were positioned and maybe where his Banshee openings might be. As he hits this third base, a few drones are just completely exposed. A couple of roaches coming in. There's one drone, there's 3. Again, it's just a few drones going down for no cost at all from the Terran player, apart from a bit of APM, a bit of micro. And obviously that bit of APM and micro has worked out well so far. Banshee coming through the top side, getting ready to hit in from the main base. Again, they'll look to try and grab a couple of workers here or there. And we'll just start to nibble away in the next couple of moments. So, a little bit of nibbling being done here. You're just going to be seeing those few queens continue to come up towards the upper left-hand side. A Banshee is Once we're out also, guys, I'm just going to have to tab for a moment just to check someone in the bracket. Okay. Sorry. So we see some Marines pushing forwards, and we're going to see a couple of these Overlords going down. And we are going to be seeing those Medivacs just pulling away. And going back along towards the lower right-hand side. So looking to see what's going on there. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure we have another game to go into after this one. I'm looking as though we might be getting into Mana Snood in the near future. So just trying to confirm that we get that. If it costs me a minute of bad casting in this game to get another 6 series lined up straight after this one, I'm all for it personally, so sorry for that. That's why I was just momentarily distracted there. But let's get back to it, as I've sent the messages I need to. Fungal Growth lands, but actually a bit of a pickup actually. Doesn't actually stop most of the Marines from being hit there, it seems. Actually, a couple of them did get saved. And as we are going to be seeing those Medivacs continue to come across through the top. A Hive is on the way from Guru, so again, he's been going for this faster Hive with rushing the Infestors out. It's kind of his own little style, isn't it? You know, not a lot of Zerg players rush out Infestors like this. A lot of people rush for Hive, but they really don't get Infestors along the way. Not 4 of them, but it's definitely the kind of formula that Guru likes to use to kind of get himself into the, in towards that sort of position. You can just see kind of where the deficits of Clem have been, though, since that 2 racks opener has not been too successful. A couple of engineering bays on the way up on the wall. We're going to be seeing a couple of upgrades are coming up from Guru, but it's 2-2 and 1-1 in production tab, and that's it. You know, it's an entire, upgrade set of upgrade lead here for Guru, and that's so painful for Clem. So far behind on upgrades, you might just have to play a much more passive game here, rather than being aggressive, and just hope that eventually he can get to that later stage where maybe this goes very, very well for him. So we will see as we see a few Marines loading back up into those Medivacs, going to be coming back down towards the bottom right again. And a few Marines just dropping off and seeing what will happen. Again, a few more tanks, a few more Marines, a few more Medivacs, all from Clem, gathering to gathering, getting ready to move on out. A 4th command set from Clem drops down here as well. And we also drop on through, and well, I mean, again, in my eyes, I feel like Clem has to be the defensive player here. He can't be moving out aggressively against this upgrade advantage of Guru, but the problem is if you let his Zerg just do what they want, it's not going to go well for you either. So what's Clem's best bet? Maybe just sitting here defensive most of his army and trying to drop. I think that's a decent idea, but I guess we'll see here very soon. A few roaches to the south side. You have a little bit of a move around and looking to see where they can get to. A lot of Marines from Clem do go across the map, so this is why I liked the idea of maybe getting across the map with a few of these Marines and getting some damage done. The Liberator comes in and actually is going to get some nice harassment. And that's actually a pretty big deal if he gets himself a couple drones, a couple queens. This is really nice. I mean, that's for 2 queens and a couple of drones along the way as well. So this is really good damage, and these Marines are in no trouble at all because they lift into Medivacs, they get out of there, and he doesn't really lose much while, again, cleaning out some crew spread and all the rest of it. Two Medivacs continue to boost over to the right side. More roaches still gathering up as well, by the way, from Guru. Roaches, Ravagers, and Festus. All of these units are getting themselves set to go. A few more ultras on the way out. Another starport building in the main base. A Ghost Academy dropping down too, also in this main base. So it is just continuing to tack on up in towards that later stage, which we've seen now 2 games in a row, albeit 2 very different later games. It is heading that way once again. It has both games been at least the Ghost Liberator style from Clem to at least begin with, if not transitioning out of a little bit later on. You see a changing gets picked off, a few Marines loading up into Medivacs, and they are going to be pulling back down towards the lower right again. Marines up here are going to be able to get themselves a kill on this hatchery in the top side, so that's a really nice pick off. And continue to move up here, we're going to see this Spore Crawler will get picked away as well. Going to be getting that second one too. Fungal Growth hits one of the Medivacs. Is there a follow-up to that? A Queen? No second Fungal. The Corruptor's out now, so he is going to hunt it down, and that's where dropping around the map for Clem becomes a lot more difficult, because now the Corruptors are able to chase you down too. Your life is not going to be anywhere near as easy as it once was. Marines coming up this left-hand side and picking away at quite a few of the creep tumors, actually. which is nice again to keep the creep spread limited. Creep it halfway into the middle of the map on black backwater. It's a lot of creep, but it still gives you a lot of space to move around as the Terran player because of the size of the map. So, as you're going to be seeing a few more tanks, Marines all gathering themselves up together, we are going to be having these few Corruptors once again coming forward to chase those medevacs away. And, well, Marines are just going to stand and fight this. Target's down a couple Corruptors. There was a skirmish here. Meanwhile, to the south side of 5th base is going to be attempted to be taken here by our Terran. And Guru doesn't seem to want to fight into that just yet. +2 armor about to finish up, and again +1 attack on the Greater Spire coming through, +3 flyer weapons as well for the missiles. Gives those roaches and ravages a little bit of something extra. We haven't seen any hydras this series from Guru. It's kind of intriguing. Roaches coming along, and they are just going to be sitting below this 5th, not allowing that to come up. Clem, he can slow down a little bit on this 5th base, but as we've seen before, as he gets set up in towards that base, he also takes another couple of bases on the map and continues to get those set up and ready to go. It's going to be seeing the few Broodlords on the way. We're going to see a Baneling Nest, a Spire on the way out. And those few Marines just stimming around and picking off some creep tumors, some bits and pieces being done. Roaches are actually going to take a fight down here. That's not going to go so well for them. Ghosts obviously pretty good even against Roaches. A couple of Ghosts go down though. I mean, in general, losing Ghosts for a Roach or two is... Well, killing Ghosts with a Roach or two is really not too bad. I think Guru will be happy with that. Getting any Ghost there is probably more than he expected, so... And again, at this stage, you want to kind of bleed those Roaches off in some way to be able to kind of free up the supply for the better units, the Broodlords, the Ultras, the Infestors, and all the rest of it, so... It'd be nice to... Yeah, it's... I guess it's... I guess it's okay to kind of lose them for not really much. I mean, again, killing the Ghosts I think is great. What else could you do with them, right? You can't run by with them. It's an investment to drop with them, and you might not get much done. I think it's a decent way to go about it, as we are going to be seeing the +3 weapons is on the way from Clem. Let's see if he gets +3 armor this time as well. Fusion core on the way up for advanced ballistics. That liberated range has been something which has been very important along the way so far. Into the middle of the map, we see a couple of creep tumors going down. Now a lift up with that medevac. Corruptors along the top side are hunting for something, but don't quite find it yet. Marines going to unload on the left-hand side in the 3rd base, and we are going to be seeing Zerglings continue to come forwards, and they are going to be seeing them lifting back up into the medevac, which is going to boost away down the left side as well. Corruptors are going to continue coming forwards, and they will be able to get one of these medevacs taken down. So one medevac falls, and well, we just see the Broodlords continue to come down along the south side, flapping slowly. Now this is an interesting map for other reasons. So Broodlords on this map are so much weaker than on some of the other maps we've seen, because the map is a lot larger. There's a lot of potential attack around the Broodlords, rather than them being able to kind of intercept your engagements or your run around. So the biggest issue of this was on Abiogenesis. There was just no way around the Broods for Clem other than to fight them. On Acid Plant, he had a bit more space to work with. We know the Broodlord count got up, and he definitely used that space to create opportunities. And we'll see if he does that again on Backwater, where there's so much space to work with. But that said, while there is more space, the bases are also a little bit more clustered together. The bases in general are a little bit easier to defend and hold on to. As we are going to be seeing these Marines picking their way through a few more creep teamers here along the top side. Again, any creep cleaned out is just a little bit less map control for the Zerg to work with. As that is a 7th base now with Clem coming up. Sorry, a 6th base now with Clem coming up on this far south side. And he's looking for some more snipes to get rid of some of those Corruptors. The Banes are going to run towards the Ghost, but the Ghost will just turn and fight. They can tank a couple of Bane shots, which is what happens here. And CVs need to be kept repairing if they want to save this base, but it is going to fall. So this base will go down. Some snipes dropping where they can. The fungal growth initially was very good as well on just the front couple of Ghosts. Again, more of these Broodlords getting sniped down to them, dropping so quickly. An Infestor gets EMP'd, and more EMPs, but it was the same Infestor. So missing the kind of EMPs which he maybe really needs to find here, as we are going to be seeing Corruptors, Ultras, and Infestors. They're moving back up to the top now this time around. Again, a few more Queens coming back down to the south here. We see 5 Ravens now on the way at a time, and that's something we haven't seen from Clem in this series. 5 Ravens at a time. Yes, we've seen a couple at a time, but 5 at a time is truly just insane. It's really insane. So we're going to be seeing these Marines, the Ghost, being chased away through the south side, and we are going to be having Ghost continue to come forwards, maybe a couple of snipes down on towards one of these Ultras. Ultra goes down, turns around again, and we are going to again see bunch of these infestors being picked away at. That's a huge fungal growth, though the corrosive bars are good and the ghost number is depleting. Guru has such a huge bank because he's been left alone for so long in this game, because Clem early game had a very unsuccessful 2-racks, which just allowed Guru to just sort of sit here and be like, well, okay, you're not doing anything, I'm going to mass expand this time myself, I'm going to take all the bases I need, and I'm going to build up my bank before we take fights later on. And now Guru is maxed down, and it barely looks as though his army moved, whereas, you know, his bank is still 8k, 4k, and Clem has 300 gas in the bank. He has barely anything to hold on with, so Guru doing a great job now. And one of the big things we saw in, for example, Backwater, Dark versus Maru WSG Global Finals, was the fact that Maru was just denied beyond 5 bases, and Dark was able to take this base and this base because he had control of the map. And that's exactly what we're starting to see here now with Guru, taking control of the map and just stopping Clem from getting further on in terms of bases at the moment. See a few Lings and Banes running forwards. The anti-armor missile is good on the first couple of units, and the follow-up anti-armor missile doesn't really do much justice. It doesn't really hit hard enough to do much, and that's why you do need more than just a couple of Ravens. And obviously he has more than just a couple, just needs to collect them together and get the anti-armor missiles working together to splash down and really find the kind of doomy kind of connections that Terran players have been kind of finding lately. It's been causing people to complain about this unit. Ravens going down though as they push forwards here. I mean, the anti-armor missiles hit, but again it wasn't enough to actually kill off units, and so there's another couple come down to back away, but Ravens have gone down, Goats have gone down, and Clem is still starved for gas. Now he can't afford any more Ravens, and he's not going to be able to replace Ghosts either if he keeps losing them like this. His economy is struggling. It's another Ultraless lost here from Guru, but honestly, he's had so much success with just kind of the masses of Broodlords in previous games, it sort of feels like he might be able to get away with that here once again now. Ravagers, Corruptors, gathering themselves together on the left side. We are going to be seeing more of these tanks and Liberators coming on towards the front, keeping themselves in positions where they can kind of help out against these larger armies running in. I mean, every single tank shot is going to be important. Every single Liberation shot into an Ultralisk or so could be absolutely crucial in this next fight or two, because Clem has to hold on, he has to defend, and he's not really been able to do that a lot of the times today, and that's where a lot of his issues have come from. You see the Ghosts continue to fight here. Nice snipe to get rid of one of the get rid of one chunk of hit points on an Ultras, but it was no further follow-up. Some snipes go off there, but not really enough of them. And again, now the Ghosts in trouble as Lings and Banes get surrounds. Really just getting so many more kills than you really expect them to, time and time again. Somehow Clem has found himself the gas to get another few Ravens in the production tab. I think that's what he's got to aim for, right? I mean, just the spellcasters here that can trade so efficiently. If you can get those up, if you can get those working, this could really, really make quite a difference. We are going to be seeing a few Marines on the left side. They're going to chase down a couple of spores, as we are going to be seeing Lings do not get access to the natural expansion. Nice raise on those depots. The siege tank is going to go down now as well. And again, those Lings just have nowhere to go other than in towards kind of further Terran units, so complete shutdown on that run by Clem for good defense when he needed it. If he lets Lings in there, he starts getting pulled all over the place. There'll be Lings in his third, Lings in the natural, Lings in the main, and obviously Lings in the main can start picking off production, and that's where suddenly you find yourself with kind of a lack of reactors. Suddenly you aren't able to get enough up that you need, and everything goes completely haywire for you, honestly. Completely haywire, completely the opposite way that you want it to. Going to be seeing these units continue to set on over the left hand side. You know, we're going to be having again a couple of Liberators just setting up and just still holding this base, and Clem has been able to secure this base, but in the meantime Guru is getting top right and bottom left, and those are the bases that will make the difference in the resources lost tab. If Clem trades a little bit better, Guru has a whole extra base, a whole 2 extra bases of resources over Clem to use to trade out worse and to make his, game plan work out in that regard. And we are going to be seeing those lingers just getting us around. We are going to see this planetary fortress. And it's being targeted. And it's going to drop here very soon as we see lingers actually break their way in towards the natural. I mean, a couple of ghosts here. I guess they can just cloak up and they will be able to start cleaning out. But now the banelings start rolling in. And that's where these units really have to start taking some better care. Some snipes actually come down to help out, but it just gives the lingers so much time to get so much done. And they are getting all of that done as, oh my god, the anti-armor missiles though from Clem are huge. And those anti-armor missiles could be a bit of a turnaround point, because suddenly Guru has nothing left at all. And Clem has taken a fight to bring him right back into this. Well, I honestly was not believing for Clem at all. I'm not going to lie. I really thought Guru had this in the back. But those anti-armor missiles hit everything. And suddenly Clem has just lost so much. Sorry, Guru has just lost so much because Clem is. I mean, Clem lost a lot as well. Clem didn't have a huge bank, and that's the issue. He's already used up his own entire gas bank here, queuing up units. Guru, maybe if you can go now before Ravens have the energy back, before new Ravens are out, that might be one of his stronger points. Yes, he won't have a lot of units because he'll only have the ones that are faster to build, but if you can start pulling the Ravens away from the front perhaps, then it gives, him a chance to kind of attack in while, the Ravens are away from the front line of the Terran players. So it's a good possibility, a good way for Guru to maybe kind of create this opportunity for himself. A few more infestors on the way up here from Guru. Haven't seen many of those for a little while now. Ultras, infestors, and banelings still gathering themselves up in the center. It's one of those games where really everything is just Guru in control, but he still needs to take the fights to end this. And so far, well, he hasn't done that. Clem has been the one of the better fights. I'm kind of worried that this is an Ultras-based army. He's got like mostly Ultras against Ghost, Lib, Kang. I don't see a world in which these Ultras do a lot, but I guess what else do you build? If your Brutals keep getting blown up by Ravens, I guess it sort of makes sense to focus maybe instead on Ghosts and Libs and Tanks. On Ultras, sorry. But then the Ghosts and Libs and Tanks are going to get so much more done. I don't even know. Don't even know. Guys, this series has been a long one. We had a 40-minute plus game number 1, a 20-minute plus game 2. We're 25 minutes into game 3 of this best of 3 series. It's one of the first rounds of the WCS EU Challenger qualifier. We are in for a long day of StarCraft 2, I'm not going to lie. As we are just going to be seeing these, this nuke dropping down. Going to hit nicely onto a lot of this static defense. And the Ghosts make a play up here to get rid of this base from the Zerg. And the more the Zerg mines from this base, the less Clem can mine from it. Obviously, the worse that is for him in the near future as those Ghosts, though. Oh, they have to be so careful. Ultras and Banes are going to try and catch them off guard. The anti-armor missiles get rid of every Bane lane. Oh my god, this army is just disappearing. But the Ghosts, well, their snipes get cancelled, but now they EMP the Infestors. There's no follow-up to the Infestors. Okay, now some Ravens are going to chase down. A couple anti-armor missiles will kill one of them. The other ones get away. Well, Clem continues to hold on, and this time he might have done enough, honestly, because he still has an army supply lead, but Guru doesn't have a bank anymore. And without a bank, where do you go from here as Guru? I'm not sure. Yes, he's got bases to mine from, sure, but it means that if fights like this keep happening, it's going to keep going in Clem's favor. And even now, a couple of Infestors getting taken down as they throw some infested Terrans over here. That's not pretty either. Ghosts can keep on pushing in. This is pretty much the end of these couple of spines. And we are going to be seeing the Marines clean this up. And we are going to see those spines getting picked off. That's going to be the end of those. So bottom left is reclaimed by Clem. He's able now to get his base up here. Meanwhile, he's actually Guru tags this base. I thought Clem maybe just scouted it or something. As we are seeing a lot of lingers down this right-hand side. Queens in the middle of the map are also just looking to, I guess, push more creep out. He has a lot of active tumors anyways. Link counterattack, the sort of thing that will pull Clem back. It can get damage done. Shut down production structures would be hugely amazing for him. As Clem holds the entire south side of the map here at 27 minutes into the game. Guru holds the entire top side. Every base on Backwater has been taken. And now we watch for them to mine on out. I mean, already, obviously, the initial base are mining out here. We're talking about 300 minerals here and there. Little bits and pieces. Ghosts, some Linger Rumbies are actually trying to stop this base in the bottom left from being taken. Oh my god, so many more of these Zerglings keep going down. It's not going well at all, as we're going to be seeing these Marines and a couple of ghosts coming forwards, and they will pick off another couple of Zerglings. Lings moving out through the center of the map. Broodlords, Corruptors, Banes, Infestors. This army of Guru is terrifying, but then you look at the Raven force of Clem, and you remember what Ravens can do, and this starts to look pretty darn terrifying as well. Lings to the bottom right-hand side have got rid of that wall, so that's just going to be a continued issue here for Clem to deal with. I mean, a Raven cannot really do a lot right now. It can throw down whatever it wants, but it's just in fear of kind of hitting your own units with the anti-armor missile, etc. Or the Lings just running away straight up. Another orbital falls, and Clem is slowly losing out on kind of locations over to this right-hand side of the map. Another order turret or two come down just to make sure you can clean up here. And that is going to be the secured cleanup. Nicely done. Bottom left-hand side, we do have ourselves Guru still moving along, and Nuke coming in. Just starting to clean up some of that creep spread. We've seen it in previous games. It just also gives him the opportunity to just kind of make Guru look around the place. Maybe gives him the chance to hit those anti-armor missiles off. Guru's already pre-splitting as Guru maybe just backs away for a moment or so here. One anti-armor missile will not do much. So for now, not really a lot gained here. As Clem throws down another nuke. Banks are pretty much dead even, and there isn't really a lot to go on. You know, there's a little bit of gas, of minerals, yes, but the gas is extremely limited. More Lings going bottom right. Those run-bys are relentless, never-ending it seems to some point. Ghosts just fighting their way through some of these spore crawlers, and well, you know, a couple more spores, a couple more kills. Just have to make sure not to lose any of these ghosts, because again, last game one of his biggest issues was losing ghosts throughout the game. It really cost him, and that is going to be all of those 4 ghosts going down that were left here. So that is a shame. Now anti-armor missiles will be enough to, oh my god, just not get the kills. A 1-8 point infestor, but both of them got transfused at the last second. Nice shutdown there by Guru, making sure he keeps as much as he can alive. Very nicely done. What's Guru missing then? Well, he doesn't have Vipers in his army. That might be... He's actually 4. You just haven't... Okay, they've just come out now. Well, Vipers definitely are something which will go a long way in terms of utility, in terms of helping him out and taking some of these fights, especially winning out some of the air battles. Obviously, the air battles, I mean, it might not be a win in the air battles, but if you can start picking off some of these Ravens, it's a start. It's a step in the right direction. It's a step that you almost just have to take, right? Like, you can't not take it, I don't think. Resources lost 54k to 46k. That gap is there in favor of Clem, and it is something that we saw in the last game too, which Clem was able to be victorious in. In fact, every game of this series, the more resources lost throughout the game, especially earlier in the game, the more favored it was to that player going later on. We're going to be seeing the Ravens coming forward, Spores hitting them, maybe wishing they had the PDD back. Maybe not, considering the other abilities they have are pretty darn good right now. As you are going to be seeing a couple of snipes on a Broodlord, and meanwhile, also just the follow-up nuke once again, still trying to clean out some of these spores, really pushing Guru back heavily in the last few minutes. 30 minutes into game number 3, it's 1-1, and as a spore crawler dies, these ghosts are going to go down. 2 of the 3 die. Small mistakes by Clem. Needs to kind of tighten up on those. I mean, it's one of those games where it's going late, it's getting kind of crazy. You have to be critical, because every small mistake could be what costs you in the end. We saw Abiogenesis literally came down to the wire. A couple more goes here and there at any point of the game can go a much longer way than a lot of people think. Now, it's going to be 7 bases each, essentially. Obviously, with the first base is starting to mine out already as... Whoa! 4 infestors go underground, and they unburrow here to drop a mass of infested Terrans all over the place. Some anti-armor missiles coming through, but that's a lot of production that's dropping here. Some Marines stim in to deal with this. It's a really nice way to clean up so many of these just structures, just pull so much of the Terran back. It's something that Guru kind of needed, I feel, because it has just been Clem just to run around and just cause chaos here so far. I don't agree with this next set of infested Terrans being thrown, because it sort of reveals where the infestors are. Kind of reminds Clem, okay, maybe I should kill these, whereas maybe he could have gotten out with them. There's no wall off, right? I mean, obviously infestors look very obvious when they move nowadays, compared to in the past, so you can definitely see them. But for example, like this, if you just maybe tried to leave, he could have gotten out of there. If he got out of there, boom, all of a sudden he's got 4 more infestors alive than he did before. Or than he did in this scenario, at least. Few lings off over to the right hand side. Corrupt is grabbing themselves a kill somewhere around the place. Corrupt is still up in the skies. Kill missile turrets firing away, and you know, just going to be seeing the little bit of a slower moment or two in the game right here. As you do see, obviously some lings are still trying to make their way into some positions here, there, and wherever, just looking to see what they can find, looking to see if there's any opportunities. Just going to be having some more Marines continue to come up in towards the center. A lot of creep tumors going to be being picked away at right now. A lot of creep tumors actually starting to go down. Marines, a lot of progress being made through the center of them here. A couple of Reapers are continuing to be added in too. I'm not sure about the Reapers. I think that might be a misclick for Ravens. His Raven count's good though. 20 Ravens and he's lost what, like 7? Just the you know, the retainment on those Ravens is absolutely insane throughout this. As we're going to see some Ravens coming through the south side here. Corrupt is going up the left. A lot of Corruptors going up the left. Lings, Vipers. I mean, the Vipers, we haven't even really seen them do anything yet, have we? A nuke comes down just towards the Zerg player as he continues to push him around. As Guru running Lings all over. Guru has a bank back in play. He's got a bunch of money back in play at the moment, so excited to see if he can do a little bit more. Marines are splitting themselves up. Some Ghosts as well. What are the Reapers for? He's still building Reapers. Can someone tell me what the heck these Reapers are going to be for? Because I'm out of... I don't have an answer for it. I actually really do not know. So I'm extremely intrigued. Because, you know, you spam... Maybe it's just... His production cycle is still just spammed with a couple of Reapers here and there. And that's also a possibility. Maybe he just sort of queued up 2 sets of units rather than just the 1 set. So instead of misclicking once, he misclicked twice. Now he's going to be on, what, like 4 Reapers in the middle of the map? I really feel this has to be a mistake. There's no way he's just suddenly going to start using Reapers. Is there? Question marks? Alright, well, we are going to be having... All 7 bases on each side of the map are on their way to mining out. We're talking about 1,000 gas left for Guru in the top right, 1,000 gas here. So Guru is actually, what, 2,000 gas left to go. So he's got 4,200 gas to play with. Clem has much fresher gas down here, right? So he has 2,500 gas to play with. Well, he needs to trade very well in the next few moments. He needs to trade very well in the next few moments because otherwise he is going to run out of the gas game. But he definitely has the army to do so. Just going to be seeing a couple of nukes to clean out creep once again. These rocks are unfortunately going to be victim to a nuke. What did these rocks ever do to you, Clem? The rocks getting taken down. Opens up the map a little bit. Not well, that's really too influential right now where these fights are mostly happening. Around the right, around the left, rather than elsewhere. Going into Hydra speed. What on earth is he getting into Hydras for? I mean, he's built a few of them, right? But 5 Hydras built in Hydra speed is an interesting way to start switching this up. Maybe he just feels as though with Raven Ghost, the better way for him to fight this is to go back kind of a text tree kind of stage. As weird as that sounds, sometimes it can be better. For example, against a lot of Ghosts, you generally want more Banans in your army again because Ghosts are actually a little bit weak to Bans because they struggle to deal with the swarminess of those units. And maybe that's the idea once again here from Guru, or from Clem, or from Guru, sorry, of the Hydras. Like, take a step backwards, let's go and, you know, come on in here with the Hydras and Banes and just try and overwhelm a little bit against what is a very high-tech army. Does that work? I think it works if you have more economy than your opponent. Does it work in this game? I'm not sure. Where you're 8,000 resources lost behind? That's really difficult to say. Well, Clem's just happy to sit back, mine out his bottom left base. We're heading towards our second 40-plus minute game of this series. This single series. As everyone sits back for a moment, just to show you guys what else is happening. Mana and Snoot have just started up in game number 1 of their best of 3 as they continue through the winner bracket as well. We're in that game. We're going to be bringing you guys updates from it. We're going to be bringing you guys all of the action as it happens and any big fights, etc. So keep an eye on that, and we'll be jumping into that series when Clem and Guru do conclude in what may not be the very near future, but at some point probably in the next 20 minutes, because if this goes past an hour, I really will start to lose my mind, because that would be crazy. I mean, even games on Backwater going past an hour is kind of insane. Doesn't happen all of the time. And some Marines here fighting against some of these Spore Crawlers. Remember, players are more or less mining out of this stage. So for Guru, it's time for him to start sacrificing these drones, getting them into, you know, getting that supply freed up to build a bigger army to attack with all at once. Meanwhile, from obviously Clem's point of view, he's got a little bit mining left over. This bottom left-hand side is still a bit healthier for him than Guru's is, so he can still rebuild a little bit. Clem's not actually maxed out, which is a little bit scary here. And that's definitely going to hurt him a little bit. Still hasn't lost any Ravens, but the issue is he's just got these Ravens sat here. He's not tried to do anything with the Ravens for a while, which I just feel that's maybe one of his issues, because one of the powers of the Raven is just how much you can get done with it. And yet here he is just sat sort of like not doing much at all, not using that energy again and again, and by doing that it just gives Guru maybe the one fight that does go his way, which does favor him. Another 2 Reapers. I mean, it just has to be a misclick for the Ravens, right? We haven't seen these Reapers doing anything cool in particular, I don't think. It's a gas investment which really doesn't have much of a return of investment. And where's Reapers from before? They got taken down during some sort of a fight. Oh, those Reapers must be misclicks. We're going to be seeing some Ghosts continue to fight away at the Spore Crawlers here at the front. Just going to be seeing a Hydra on the way up. Again, all these drones from Guru are now pretty much mined out. I mean, he is mined out. Guru mined out. He has nothing left to mine here, so his drones should go sacrifice themselves or do what they can. A couple anti-armor missiles off over to the left-hand side. I mean, some hits, but it's not any kills. Queens use their own energy to transfuse up, and I mean, that's again the sort of war you should have been fighting for a long time here as Clem, but he's been sat back so passively instead. That's making this a little bit, well, it's not been pretty for him, put it that way. It has not been pretty for him. Well, just as we see these nukes continue, I'm just going to show you guys that meanwhile, Mana and Snoot are kind of having a bit of a fight right now, because Mana has an overwhelming number of results running in towards Snoot's third base. So Mana might be getting some progress done in that first game against Snoot there in that PvZ. Meanwhile, nukes are still dropping in his TvZ. Just going to leave that PvZ up a moment or so, because it looks like Mana's about to break Snoot maybe in the next couple of seconds. He's either going to break him or not break him, and that more or less kind of determines the game. You can see the War Prism is just kind of trying to run away all over the place. It's a very close fight over there. That's continuing again in another round of the winner bracket. Meanwhile, the few Marines just pushing forwards here in the TvZ and the other little bits and pieces. There's some more little bits of action ongoing. Orbitals are set up all over the place, some more nukes coming through. Clem's money is so low though, I'm not sure if the nukes are really going to get him enough value here to justify the investment when you're this low on money overall. Snoot has held that attack, by the way. What a clutch defense that was if you were watching out the corner of your eyes. Snoot defends, and he probably takes the game from that point. Give you an update if anything changes. Back onto full focus for Clem versus Guru, though, because at this stage, this is really kind of scary for Clem, I feel. He's about to run out of money himself. Guru still has money in the bank, so Clem's next fights have to be absolutely amazing for himself. But can they be? He has the army to do it, but it's so difficult to get the correct fights. Make sure the Ravens hit what they need to hit and all the rest of it. Fueling is going to run around the right-hand side here, and Guru going to continue to see what else he can do. Just see if he can pick off another couple of units here and there, and we're just going to be seeing this siege tank getting shut down. I mean, this is what you should be doing, right? Pulling Clem away, pulling Clem's slower army compared to Zerglin's back into the main, giving himself a chance to push forwards with his bigger army and make a couple of pickoffs here and there, and just little things that are going to shut him down. And this is such a frustration for Clem. That wall got knocked down much earlier. He never rebuilt it. He never replaced it. Same with this wall here. Obviously, that does hurt quite a bit. It just allows Guru to still have that possibility of keeping on attacking. A lot of SCVs here just stood by this planetary. There are minerals left over. I don't think minerals are the issue for Clem. It's the gas. And he has 600 more gas to mine, and he's done. Remember that Guru, he has mined out of gas, so he's done. He's not mining anything else this game. 49 drones that I guess may just join the fight, because what else have they got to do? Really nothing at all. Really nothing at all. We're going to be seeing the Marines trying to push forwards once again. Another couple of Lings coming in also. Love Juice Willis TV's idea in the chat. Maybe the Reapers are made because their self-heal just gives them infinite value in the late game. It's the new meta, guys. You heard it here first in Twitch chat. It's confirmed. Marines get rid of another Spore Crawler little by little, slowly but surely, just trying to do what he can, trying to find himself a way through the center of this map, a center of the map which is just not being broken. Broodlords continue to press on forwards into the middle as well. Queens, another couple of Broods also. This entire army to the left-hand side is still just terrifying too. Another nuke comes down as Guru will try and make the play around the right-hand side. Couple of Liberator set up defensively. Good snipes. That's Broodlords going down, and those are key units that Guru doesn't have an infinite bank to replace. Okay, so it's little fights like that that go Guru's way, that go a huge way, or that go Clem's way, that go a huge way to making this a victory for him. This is still winner's bracket, guys. The loser of this has to somehow make their way through the loser's bracket. I don't know how they'll have the energy for it, but that's what they're going to have to do. What's scary is this is only like round of 128 or round of 64. The winner of this still has to win another 4-5 best of threes before they qualify. This has been one hell of a series as we get to the point of the game where the extra 0 gets added on, because as Heart of the Swarm time changed in Legacy to kind of real time in Legacy of the Void, the 43-minute marker, there's still like that little bug there where suddenly, you know, it's an hour in the old time, so the 0 shows up. That's why that happens. Who knew? Well, I knew. That's what I'm telling you guys. Now you guys know. Now we all know. Sharing is caring. Well, just going to be seeing this army continue to sit here. Meanwhile, we're talking about that ZVP a little bit. Snoot has got himself the counter-attack to win this game. I mean, he was in that position where he held onto the attack. It was an all-in attack from Mana, and when you win an attack like that, you're going to win the game at that point. So it's a game victory from Snoot. He goes 1-0 up in that best of 3. Very well played, very nicely done. And he'll be continuing onwards and seeing if he can close out that series against Mana moving forward. Meanwhile, though, we're back to the TvZ yet again. Just again giving you guys a couple of updates here and there of what's going on. Just want to keep you guys updated on some of the games, especially as we get into a position like this where there's just little bits and fights happening. I see a lot of changes getting taken down off onto the right-hand side. As Emil points out, mined out here more or less. Not completely true, actually, because there is indeed minerals down here. Nick going up into the skies, getting ready to launch. Deal some damage once again. Gonna be dropping down. And we do see these spores just going to pull back a little bit. No! Ravens! Oh, he cancelled the nuke. Ooh. Cancelling a nuke doesn't give you it back, right? So, intriguing. Did he just lose the ghost? No, it must have been that ghost. That makes no sense. Very interesting here. 45 minutes. Game number 3. The winner continues in the winner bracket. Oh, and Abduct. That's a dead Raven. That's actually exciting because we've only seen 2 Ravens die in like the last 20 minutes. Clem is completely mined out. No. He has 150 gas and he has this set of minerals. He barely has anything left. Both are mined out. Both players' banks are basically entirely spent. I'm going to be seeing a fungal growth grabs one of those ghosts. Another few spores are going to put themselves into position here yet again. Continue to just set up towards the front as I didn't even realize Guru had Neural Parasite, but I mean, that works. Neural Parasite the Ghost, Walker into the Zerglings. One less unit brings us to 144 versus 144 army supply. As, oh my god. Who's lagging out? Guru. Okay, Guru is back. If he times out, this is going to be one hell of a long... I mean, this would literally be 46/8. That's a 6-minute loading screen to regame. That's just, like, mind-blowing. Like, literally mind-blowing. Oh my god. We're going to be seeing a nuke coming down towards the front again. A few of these spores pull back. They have to get out of there. Crypt tumors go down. And this is just... getting to the point of insanity. 143 or 144 supply in army. Clem takes the 1 army supply lead. I mean, Guru has to pull his drones into the fight, right? There's no reason not to at this stage, right? Am I wrong? You have to bring the drones into the fight. There's no reason not to. I'm so surprised Clem is still making nukes. Rather than another couple of ghosts and bits and pieces. Ah, I don't even know. I don't even know. We're going to see these queens continue set up over here. Unless we are going to be... Clem just finds more minerals. He's got these minerals over here. He's sending SCVs to this mineral patch, but he just doesn't realize he's got this mineral patch down here with SCVs next to them. With SCVs next to it. Okay, I just will throw this back to the first minutes of the game where 2 barracks were built over here and they failed to really do anything. What on earth is going on? Well, another couple of moments of waiting here to see what is next. What's up, guys, by the way? A couple of shoutouts to make, as for this stage we may as well. Monsieur Bloodbad had come in with the Twitch Prime sub quite some time ago during this game. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. And Pure Spider 7 with the Twitch Prime sub as well just recently. Thank you so much, guys, for your Twitch Prime subs and for supporting the channel and helping to make this content possible. Really do appreciate it. Well, we are just going to be seeing a ghost, just going to be throwing down a snipe. And again, guys, I guess a few of you didn't realize, but it was just a few memes in the chat. We obviously, based on the NA WCS last night, we're not actually going to stop this game and regame, but that's something that was some drama last night. I advise you go and read Team Liquid or Reddit about it if you didn't see it and you want to know more. Queen gets sniped on down. It's another kill from Clem. He's still at 144 army against the 137. He's about to have the minerals, by the way, to be able to... he actually pulled these workers off of these minerals. He's about to be able to get the minerals to build something useful again with his last 260 gas. Does he just build a nuke? Does he build another ghost? One raven, maybe? I mean, it's so hard to tell what we should be expecting at this point, as we are going to be seeing a few Marines just dropping down in the corner. Hey guys! Going to be seeing a few Marines coming up here as well, as a few creep Dreamers are going to get picked away at. I mean, what else can you do, right? A few spores move forwards as well. What's actually even on the map? They're actually going to play rock, paper, scissors. Wow. We're actually having a game of rock, paper, scissors between the casters. Right now, in the chat. Oh my god, I got wrecked. RIP. Well, I got knocked out. Grand finals. Germany versus France. Naruto versus Baguette. Oh, Naruto wins. Can't believe it. Alright, well, meanwhile, I don't think anything really happened. A couple of snipes, maybe. I mean, he's picking off queens little by little, one queen at a time, continuing to go down. Just slowly but surely. Little bits and pieces happening. Not much happening in the Snoop Mana game either just yet. Just very standard Archon drop open into a third Nexus from Mana. So as Snoop plays in towards a Bane Nest and Roaches. Really nothing to show you guys there just yet. We will show that game if we if something starts to happen. Otherwise, let's just have a look to see what continues here for now. A few Marines pushing around for some more creep cheaper kills around the right-hand side. Sport Crawlers relocate themselves as well. He's purposely not minding this to restart the stalemate cooldown. I mean, I guess so. I mean, that's possible, but he's also killing things, so it's not like he needs to have, like, slow mining. I guess it just gives them the opportunity, right? I guess it's a good point. I guess it's a good reason. It's a possibility. But, I mean, if you mine out, if you kill something, you still reset the timer, right? God, it's been so long since I actually had to figure out the actual conditions for a game-based draw. Couple of creep tumors on the way up as we see some more changelings coming through the center of the map. They're going to get picked away here for the moment. Few spores coming down the right side still. Complete stalemate. These guys don't want to attack into each other. You know, nothing other than slowly and surely. Let's go to the other game here quickly, guys. Let's actually just bring this up on the big screen. Mana's attacking in with a couple Archons and Zealots to try and get something done. As we are going to be seeing these Zealots and Archons actually getting quite a lot done. A few drones and quite a little bit of other bits and pieces too. So, going pretty well so far. And we're all just going to be having, as these roaches clean up, it's not, you know, game-ending damage by Mana, but it's a nice attack. But losing the Prism, losing the Archons is never ideal. That is still something which, you know, it doesn't go your way. You know, you lose a few drones. I guess it's kind of good for Snoot. You know, I feel like, you know, he lost it quite a bit and he lost a bit of mind time, but actually killing the Prism and Archons means no further harassment. That is painful. Well, this PvZ continues, guys. We are still going to sit and focus up on the TvZ here, despite not much happening. We're just sort of sitting back and waiting to see what else is going on. A few Marines going to be moving forwards, and we are going to be having these couple of spores. Going to be picking their way through this. Well, being fought against by some Marines. A Marine gone down. I mean, units are dying. Just units are dying very slowly. Like, very slowly. Couple of ghosts off to the side. Oh my god. Just reading chat a bit. What's up, everyone? How are we doing? How's everyone doing today? Everyone having a good time? Welcome to the stream. I guess may as well do some sellout. If you're enjoying, guys, do hit that follow button. See when we go live in the future. I cast StarCraft 2 daily. It's your first time tuning in. Come say hi in the chat. Let me know that you're new here. Good to see you all. And yeah, glad to have you all with me today for this epic saga of games which is going on. Looks as though we're going to hit the hour-long marker. Well, while this continues, there is actually an attack going on in the other games. So let's jump over there. As Snoot is pushing in towards the third Nexus, or fourth Nexus of Mana. He had a few meters out, but Phoenix are up, the storms are coming down, and it looks as though that is going to be enough for the moment to be able to defend. So Mana's continuing to defend over here in this second game as Snoot is in the lead in the series. It's continuing to go pretty okay at the moment for both players, definitely playable. Snoot has a lot of money in the bank, by the way, so he's going to be able to explode in supply with Hydralisks in a moment, I feel. And maybe just decide what he wants to build in particular before he fully commits into it. So, yeah, we do just have that, this kind of just continuing on all along. As we, obviously have the TvZ, not really doing much at all. Who am I observing the TvZ? They're not moving the camera at all. Guru says what now, actually? Let's quickly hop back into the TvZ, because we actually have discussion being asked by Guru, instigated. Guru says what now? Are they really going to draw? You can attack me if you want. I mean, I don't want to attack your turrets. I mean, it's kind of true, right? It's quite the turret line. Well, this is kind of interesting to keep going on. Meanwhile, Snoot and Mana are having a hell of a fight, by the way, and it feels as though Snoot might be on the way out because those storms are dropping and they're getting a heck of a lot done over in the PvZ. Oh, there's a few mutas left over. There's one Archon on the way in. The mutas will get the Prism, and that's a big deal because now the Immortals are stranded. He loses the Archon in the Prism. Oh my god. Well, we are going to be seeing the I'm all going down. Right, I'm just going to put it back on this screen full time, guys. Meanwhile, game number 3 of this series is continuing. Obviously, this was just on the little mini screen for a while because not really anything was happening. Ay, ay, ay. This is, ooh. Did you just lose a ghost? Oh my god, these ghosts are actually new outside. These couple of fights are slowly chipping away units. It's almost as though they're like just agreeing to give up a unit here and a unit there. I don't even know what to tell you guys in the moment. I don't even know what to tell you guys. Well, we're going to go back to Snoop Manor because that game is counting down and we are jumping into Blackpink for game 3 of that. As we are over 2 hours into this best of 3. Whoa! Broodlord, oh my god. He's actually getting around the static defense to pick off Broodlords one by one. I mean, it's kind of insane. It's going to take a very long time, but eventually he can actually take this fight that maybe wins him the game. However, I kind of feel like that doesn't happen for a while. So yeah, we're going to keep on seeing what's going to happen here. We are going to go back into Snoop Manor game number 3. Guys, if you just joined us from local stream, hello and what's up? How are you all doing? Great to have you with me today. This series is currently in a bit of a weird spot because we are over 2 hours into Clem versus Guru. And neither player wants to end their game. An hour and 10 minutes into game 3. Welcome everybody. We're going to actually cast a little bit of Snoop Manor while leaving that other game in this WCS EU qualifier. Alright, so literally nothing has happened since we last jumped in on this. They've just been having a bit of a discussion. We've got some Broodlords moving around at least. So, just to kind of reiterate what's going on here, guys, both players are in a scenario where they feel, because there's no more mine on the map, they feel as though they can't push in towards the static defense and fight the army with their army because it's going to lose them the game. And both players feel that way, that if they become the aggressor, they will lose the game because of the static defense and the high ground advantages. And that's why neither wants to attack into the other, and that's why we've been seeing these slow trade-offs rather than one large battle. So neither wants to attack into the other, which makes complete sense given the situation of the game, the importance of the game. And that's why they're both just sat here, not fighting or anything else along the way. I'm trying to get the Wikipedia open to at least have a little bit of a look to see how the bracket is looking. Let's have a look at this bracket because I just haven't been able to look at the bracket in an absolute eternity. Let's see how the winner bracket is going, guys, right now as we can do a little bit of this for the moment or so. Snoot obviously drops down to the lower bracket as Mana advances into the next round. Kerr and Hamey play each other right now. Drogo against Dark Hydra. Winner of that plays Zanster or Ziggy. Rail is waiting for Bly or Insane. Namshar is waiting for DNS, who is probably waiting, you can probably guess, for this match to wrap up here and to keep on going. So that's the current situation on the bracket. We're going to be looking for another game to get into on the second screen in the meantime. So so give me a moment just to try and find a game here, guys. How long until I can get a replay of Guru versus Clem? I'm actually going to be doing a replay pack tomorrow after WCS Qualifiers. I was meant to do one the other day. Now that we've got WCS Qualifiers, I may as well do those first. So yeah, if you want a replay of this for whatever reason, it's coming. It will be here at some point. Obviously, this game's a little bit insane right now, guys. 1.5 hours in, we've just passed the 1.5 hour marker. So, yeah, what's up? What's going on? Let's play a game. Let's do it. Official Ask Me Anything, guys. Get your questions in while we watch the TvZ. As we 90 against 97 army supplies. Sat waiting to see what's next. Sat waiting to see what the next move may be from either of these guys. Guru has a worker lead. Yeah, he's got a worker lead that's really going to be just so good. Look at these workers. They're so useful for him right now. So useful for him right now. 1 hour and 31 minutes. As we do see, Clem actually makes a movement with his ghosts. Picks off one of the spores. Picks off a couple of these changelings. Scan comes down. The spine crawlers will begin to burrow. Once again, I mean, he's relocating. He's actually going to be able to kill a spine crawler at least. Ooh, he just doesn't quite get it. Just doesn't quite get it. Not just yet. Sorry guys, I'm trying to multitask and find out what game might be starting sometime soon. I guess we'll just keep refreshing and see who gets into something first. The tanks actually move forwards. The tanks actually move forwards and the queen goes down. Suddenly it's 88 to 97 army supply. Alright guys, this is it. Here we go. We're building up. This is the hype moment. We have the ghosts moving forwards. They're going to go for it. They're going to see what they can do. The Vipers, though, they want to try and throw down and abduct. If they can abduct into the spike walls. Here we go. The abduct of the day. And oh my god, a ghost has died. He hits an EMP on the Viper, which had already used something. Oh my gosh. OMG. What a play that was. Clem pulls back a little bit. The spores and spine still stand strong, but the creep is receding just slightly. One of the more exciting things we've had happen. Oh, Ravens are getting close to this army. There might be some action here in the near future. 1 hour and 33 minutes in, and these players are maybe getting tired of it. Maybe they're sick of it all. Maybe they want this to end as well. I wouldn't blame them, really. They've got a few matches to go beyond this as well, by the way. A few ghosts lifting up and dropping back down once more now. And we are going to be having a couple spines off over to the right-hand side as this tank is still pushing forwards. This SCV at the front, ooh, is just trying to check out, maybe tank the shot of the first volley of broodlings. Not even sure. He's trying to get himself a snipe on those broodlords, but he has to be so careful because he does not want to lose one of these ghosts. So he's really got to try and be so cautious of this right now. He really, really does. Those Vipers as well, it's a similar story. And Clem's going to leave one ghost just to this side so you can select it quickly and use it if those units come back in that sort of a direction. Can we look at the APM? These guys are still playing with their APM. Their averages through the game are 264 and 181. I think that's a sniping opportunity. It's just out of range. Oh man, well, the fights are definitely now lining up on the left-hand side. What else do we have, by the way? What else do we have, by the way? Can I show the in-game chat? Yeah, sure. Why not? Guru says I go sleep in like 3 hours or something, basically. It wasn't really too exciting. There was a snipe. What was that? Oh, I think that was a Viper. There's a single snipe and something died. I think that's a Viper. An abduct on a Raven. Anti-armor missile, but a Raven falls. Well, that's a big counter. Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy. Namshar with the Bible with the wardy thumbs in the chat, waiting for this section of the bracket to progress. Oh my god. Resources lost is 77,823 to the 69,077. Our APMs are still averaging out pretty high. Guru is stopping doing something for a moment, but then he gets back to it. Unit counts. There is no infestors against 7 broods, 9 corruptors, 2 vipers. The ultra is useless. There's 9 banes and 6 hydras and 20 lings. 12 ravens, 13 ghosts, 4 tanks, 3 libs. 1 nuke available, by the way. 1 nuke is available. Hey, why? Hey guys, we need a regame for the skin. That's a great call. You can see the spine crawlers moving through the center, actually taking another few shots here. And we are going to be seeing the spines actually taking quite a beating, that one. Wow, very Nelly goes down. What did the queen count out? Oh, he killed all the queens! Oh wow, there's no transfusions left. There's no transfusions left anymore. Clem has 305 minerals to reset the timer with, but he hasn't had to do it for a while because the units are dying recently. Ghost coming in again, looking to see. Oh, the Hydras! Oh, he nearly wanted to join the battle. He nearly got sick of this. Oh my god, the tank is on brood lanes. Oh my god, the tank's gonna die. Save the tank! Ah, he just gets it there. Absolutely clutch save by Clem. As that tank very nearly goes down. Spore Crawler pulls back a little bit. Why isn't the Zerg just abducting all the time? Because if he does, he loses his Vipers to a couple of snipes. How much does an average game usually last? Not an hour and 40 minutes. Usually 40 minutes is like dead max. 45, depending on how slow they are to take the fights after that. Ooh, tank goes down. Friendly fire on Clem's Ghost. Oh my god, he nearly lost a Ghost as well. The army supplies come back to 80 versus 83. You guys want the unit tab open instead of the production tab, but look how exciting the production tab is, guys. It's thrilling. Look how great this is. Ghosts continuing to move around here to see what else they can potentially find in the next few moments. Update on the bracket. Ziggy takes down Zanza 2-0. Oh my god. The nuke! The nuke! Oh, the Ghost goes down, and that's the end of the nuke. Well, he gets himself a Spine Crawler for that, and maybe another Spore. I mean, the thing is, if the static defense falls, it gets to that point where it is possible for the game to, for Clem to attack in more easily. This is still intense. There's still actually action going on at the moment. There's still things happening. Oh, that was a snipe as well. That was another of the Vipers going down. One Viper left. We're back to a free army supply difference between the two. 78 to 81. We are now almost at half the army supplies these guys started with. Almost. We're almost there. We're almost there. Drogo did win his round, so he actually plays against Ziggy next, so we'll probably just jump into that or something, just as the second screen match. Right now, this game's actually, I mean, I know it's been boring for a long time, but they're actually doing more than they've done in the last, like, half an hour. So just going to be seeing a few Corruptors up in the skies. Waiting to see what comes in next. I mean, again, he keeps losing. Oh my god, he's going to get 2 Corruptors! Oh, what a snipe! Clem finds himself 3 Corruptors and Guru is making mistakes. Drogo comes in with the lull chain. Loving it. Getting the lulls for backwater. Well, Liberator sieges up. Ghost coming around the right side. That is a huge play. I mean, things are happening now. Guru's losing out on units. He's got 7 Corruptors, 6 Hydras. 12 Ravens can win this game. 12 Ravens can make this happen at this point of the game. As we are just waiting to see what's happening. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't think I've ever seen my dashboard say 2 hours since the last ad. Wow. That's insane. Again, what's up, everyone? If you joined the stream just now, how you all doing? Thank you so much for joining me. This is a bit of a crazy scenario in the WCS EU Qualifier 1. If you're enjoying, do hit the follow button. See when I'm live in the future. Obviously, if you want to support the stream, you can subscribe, donate, and cheer. You can Twitch Prime subscribe for free if you would like. If you're a Twitch Prime user, it goes a long way to supporting the channel and allowing me to continue producing StarCraft content on a regular, daily basis. So any of that is always appreciated. May as well just throw it in there as we have a little bit of downtime. I actually had a couple of subs that maybe I missed during the other game. Badrock's coming in with the 8-month free sub. How you doing, Badrock's? Thank you so much for the 8-month of resubscribing. Really do appreciate it. And I think I said Wolf and Deer, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. I think I got you at the point of subscribing. But if not, then thank you once again for that sub. Do appreciate it, buddy. As we are ready to see what's going on. You guys want to see some units lost? Okay. We have had 14 Ravens, 78 Ghosts, 256 Marines, the Lone Marauder. 8 tanks, 15 libs, 4 reapers, 2 vikings, 5 hellions, 2 banshees, 9 medevacs, 79 SCVs in the Widowmine against the 51 drones, the 661 lings, the 1 hydra, the 5 overlords, 10 overseers, 22 brutes, 30 roaches, 53 banes, 16 corruptors, 19 ultras, 11 ravagers, 35 infestors, 6 vipers, and the 14 queens. As we sit back and we wait to see what's coming up next, resources loss is still 79.8 to 70k. Units tab is still not looking good for Guru, really. I mean, the Raven count's getting there. Clem's actually making more Marines, by the way. He's actually using his money. He hasn't had to reset this timer in a little while either. I think Clem has got this game, however long it takes. That's a dead siege tank, though. And that might be a dead ghost or two if he isn't careful. Pulls back. Oh, the anti-armor missiles. They strike again, but there isn't a follow-up because that was only 2 Ravens worth of missiles. If more of his Ravens were closer together, is there 1 Viper left? I believe there is not, right? So without a Viper, maybe he can bring all of his Ravens into one spot. But does he know there's not a Viper? He picks off another Spine Crawler. Makes pushing forwards more realistic here at some point. It does make this a possibility. Going to be seeing a scan coming down. Broodlords are going to be revealed here yet again. And this is the dance between the Broods and the Ghosts to try and make it happen. Just going to be seeing this. Smoke Crawler goes down. It's another big pickoff, honestly. Because every single little bit of static defense is really, genuinely a little bit of something else or something less that Clem has to push against later on, and that can be one of the reasons he isn't pushing right now. Obviously, it is one of the reasons he isn't pushing because of the static defense. Oh my god, anti-armor missiles again, but there's no follow-up to it. His Ravens are so spread out because he obviously can't risk the Ravens getting caught in a parasitic bomb, but if he realizes there's no more Vipers or Infestors, maybe he can do something about that. He loses another tank here, Clem. He's been a bit careless with a couple of those. Now he's bringing the Ravens together. I think he's realizing that this game is maybe not going to be all about Guru. Anti-armor missile gets that corruptor low. It doesn't get a kill. Oh, there's some more though. He actually hits his own Ravens. That's going to be a kill on the corruptors. He splits away, but 2 corruptors go down. It's little bits and pieces like this that are making the difference in this game slowly and surely. As we're going to be seeing these corruptors, lings, banes, and hydras all setting up. Oh, Broodlord, some of them are falling. I think Guru's losing this game, guys. 1 hour and 45 minutes in. We are about to maybe see something happen. You guys want to see EPM? I don't even remember how to bring up EPM. How the fuck did I bring up EPM? Shift C, maybe? Shift... Oh, there it is. C. No, yeah, it is Shift C. EPM is 139 and 177, and there is useful clicks being made just because of movement, I guess. Well, guys, as this game is actually making progress, we're going to stick with this a little bit. We do have Drogo and Ziggy starting up on the other screen to jump into afterwards. Oh my god, Guru's going for an attack. He's going to go for it. The ghosts all over the place. They're so low on health. The Ravens are hit. And Clem was not expecting Guru to actually push on in. The Ravens are trying to run away, but this has been mega losses on each side. Even this Ultralisk is in some trouble. The Ghosts will get the Ultralisk. They will maybe get the Broodlords. Anti-armor missiles still here. They go for the Hydras. The Ravens are so low. He comes in. The Marines will fight as well, and there might just be too much Terran. Guru attacked when Clem wasn't expecting it, and that's GG. 1 hour and 45 minutes, and Clem takes the series.